Okay. I think we are live. Welcome everyone to the 7th episode of the Xbox Live Party Podcast. My name is Ash, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend Fabio. And today, we're not only just joined by Fabio, but we've got not one, not two, not three, but four special guests this week. So I'm joined by FalseAlucard, who we play with regularly on Xbox. And if you've been watching the live streams we did earlier in the week, you'll have probably seen him on there. We've got KY Bob, SlayerXclusive, and TheGinna. How's it going, everyone?
Going good, man.
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Glad it's the weekend, I tell you now.
Pizza weekend.
If only it was that good for me.
I'm ordering pizza after this.
I'm jealous.
I've been getting like gift cards for like DoorDash through Xbox rewards programs, so that's amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We don't get that over
food.
here in England. It's mainly just sort of like shopping vouchers. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything for like Just Eat or anything like that in the UK. I may be wrong, but I don't think I've seen them. That's pretty cool, because I end up getting like £10-15 of vouchers a month. And it'd be nice to just buy a meal with that instead. I like the idea of
that. Yeah, you can do it. Here it's DoorDash. What's the other one? Not Uber Eats. Grubhub.
Also. Nice.
Walmart, Target, and I think Starbucks. So.
Oh, that's pretty good then.
Yeah.
What I seem to get is the one where you spin a slot machine to try and make a full animal to win more credits to spin the slot machine again.
Oh no.
How have you been, Fabio? All right?
I'm fine, thank you very much, and glad to be with all of you guys. Welcome to the podcast, and let's just hope that my internet just doesn't focus up more simple as that, but let's see how it goes. Really excited to be here and to talk with everyone.
Yeah, so why don't we jump straight in then to what sort of things we've been playing this last week before we move on to the news, because I'm sure there's been some kind of news this week. I don't think it's been anything major, but the Summit will probably find something to like sort of squeeze to talk about. But yeah, so what's everyone been playing this week then?
Well, I've been playing. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I've been playing. I always usually play State of Decay 2, of course. That's like one of my favorite games. But
what? No shit.
And then
you of all people.
I know this is like, I don't know, I just can't stop playing that game. I don't know why. Like, I have some other games to play, but it's just like I keep on going back to it. I just love the survival and like the management system and everything, and you know, and all the different difficulty settings that they have in there. It makes the game like even better. And you know, we played that the other day, and hopefully you can show that footage soon, because it was insane, man. Like we had like,
and it was awesome.
That was crazy. Like I thought we were all gonna die.
But you played it on that like insta death, like that's permo death, didn't you, mode?
Yeah, the game's permadeath, but if you have at least 2 survivors in your settlement, then your game won't end.
Oh, that's
so
good then.
That's how that works.
Yeah, we played a bit of multiplayer with you, didn't we? And we got absolutely steamrolled by.
Yeah, the horde mode is probably the most difficult of all.
We did way better than our other tries.
That's true.
Yeah. But besides that, you know, like I've been like jumping around like Little Nightmares 2. That game is one of my favorite games, and it's an indie game, you know, so that tells you I don't care about AAA games. It doesn't have to be AAA to be good, you know. That's my opinion on that. But yeah, there's a few games here and there, but besides that, that's about it for right now, because I'm injured and it's hard to stay focused sometimes when your mind is on like your injury and everything. But yeah.
We should go recover a bit. We wish you good recovery, bud. But let's continue with the other guests. So, KY Bob, what have you been playing lately?
Well, I'm a big State of Decay fan. I've proudly got
Another
21
one?
days. I've got 21 days worth of hours in on State of Decay 2.
Wow.
Awesome.
They're rookie
And,
numbers. Rookie numbers.
Here in the last
Okay.
week, I've been living Outriders.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Is
It's
it
gonna be
good?
real
I haven't played the demo yet, and I've seen like a lot of people saying it's going to be good. So
Yeah, they've had
Does
2
it feel
million
that way?
users.
2 million. Wow, that's good numbers for a demo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does the progress you do on the demo translate to the release game? Or
Yes.
is it, that's
Everything in the demo transfers to release. All
Right.
your gear, your experience, all your characters. There's 4 classes, and you can have 6 different characters saved to your profile, so you can
that's pretty
double up
cool.
on a couple of the classes, and it all transfers.
That is pretty cool. Then yeah, I'll probably have to play that now, so I'm not behind when it comes out.
And there may be some people canceling their pre-orders if the
Yeah.
rumors are true.
Yeah, so something we're going to talk about later as well.
He's hoping.
Don't spoil everything. God damn it. We have a fucking schedule for this.
What about you,
So
Slayer?
true.
Then
So funnily enough, I've actually been playing, getting back into Minecraft Dungeons a bit. I was literally playing right before this, because last time I played it was August, and that was when the Jungle DLC came out, and since then I think 3 new DLCs have come out. So like I've been trying to get through those and do some. I was been streaming it on Twitch, and so I could put it up on YouTube. And other than that, I play League on a daily basis, League of Legends. So that's always on my playlist. And then also
Nice.
I played again through the Assassin's Creed Chronicles series recently too. So that's been
oh, nice.
pretty cool.
Does it still hold up? The Assassin's Creed Chronicles, because I remember during when it released that it was like, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing, and then nowadays not everyone enjoys the Chronicles series. What do you think?
I mean, my primary reason for playing it was to put it up on YouTube, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy that. Like, I enjoy Assassin's Creed in general. Like, that's probably one of my favorite series. And it's a nice, it's a nice change of pace from the regular games. Like, I played through Valhalla recently, and that game was amazing. And these games are, like I said, like a nice change of pace. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy that series. It is a little bit on the difficult side, like the later games. Like the first one, China, was kind of easy, and then
Mhm.
India and Russia were a lot harder to like try to play through without being seen and spotted. So, but
Yeah, I know what
they're
you mean.
pretty fun. Yeah.
Nice. That's what matters.
Yeah.
So, Gina,
Hey. Yeah, I've just finished the Medium. I've got a review went up today on that. So, kind of
Nice.
the one big exclusive that came to Microsoft this year. Kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. I've just almost finished Gears 3 Hive Busters playthrough.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I've done it. I did half of it with Avalve, who's in the chat, funny enough, and then game save wouldn't work online anymore, so I just decided I ditched him. I decided to do
Oh,
a solo.
wow.
He was
Is
very
it because like
happy about
server
that.
issues or something, probably that they've
I
been
have
having
no
lately?
idea. It would let us get in the lobby, but then not start the game. And then at other times, it wouldn't let us get in the same lobby if we tried to do Hive Busters.
So what you're saying
Yeah.
is he was terrible, and you just didn't want to tell him. So he said that there was issues. And you're like, I'm
Yeah.
playing on my own, bud.
Trying to keep a viewer, he was a great asset. And, big help. Nah, he's
Dragging
great.
me down. I got it.
So I'm just finishing that off now, and I'm going to put a review up of that. And then I've been sent an early review code of Into the Rays of Light. I get the name wrong every time. In the Rays of Light, something along those lines from Sometimes You. So that's going to be my next one to start as of Monday. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I saw
Nice.
you'd posted about that. I've got my eye on that game. It's somewhere. I just like the sort of setting of it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably wait and see what you say, and then I'll have a play at some point.
Yeah, they're really good. In fairness, they gave me a code before for a game called IAI, which, funny enough, I did a giveaway on an A Valve won one of them, which is good of him. Not rigged, I promise. And they're really good. They kind of get involved with you. And one of the things they've done for me this time is like just email me back and forth. And they made the Xbox Wire email as like the head game for this week, and they didn't even know. So I tagged them in it, and they were like really happy and tagging people and stuff. And yeah, they're really cool. Like the smaller publishers.
Nice.
Ash, did you get it? Did you get any review codes for this game?
I didn't know. I wish I had. I got a review code for Pinkman Plus, or a media code for Pinkman Plus, which, do you know what? It's actually quite
That's
fun.
You're fired.
Which is one of those Rattlika half an hour 1000G games, but
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. I mean,
Nice.
it's simple graphics, but it's quite addictive mechanics gameplay wise. So it's super simple, and it's sort of like platforming, like jumping off walls, like boosting over gaps, avoiding sort of turrets and stuff. It's all just two colours sort of thing. But for some reason, I had to install it on my internal SSD because for some reason it's classed as a Series XS enhanced game. So I'm not sure what was enhanced about it, because it's literally a 2D platformer that's about 400 meg in size. But
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that. I was playing that last night, I think. I played that, and then today I started playing through some of my backlog of games I'd picked up on the cheap in the sale. So I played through a game I can never remember the name of. It was like a point-and-click adventure, Mechanika or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like a sort of crudely drawn 2D adventure game, sort of point and click, but with like slightly adult humor. There's prostitutes, murder, sort of like satanic rituals. Grandma kills granddad because he's been humping a goat and stuff like that. So
God.
I didn't go into it expecting that. I just read it was
friendly.
I'm just asking for a friend. What is this game called again? No.
It's called Mechanika. It's on sale for about £1.20 on Xbox. It's at Dealers of the Week this week, I think, or last week. But it's just stupid. If you're watching it on Twitch, I'll put a video up of it in a little bit, so people can see. But other than that, I've played a bit of Minecraft Dungeons with Alucard and Fabio, and then other than that, I've not really played much other than odd games of Halo, and I started playing through some of like the shmups that I've got in my backlog. So I started playing Mace, which isn't bad. It's just very, very long. And then I hit like the third area, like the last area, and then the frame rate just went to shit. And in a shmup, when it's bullets flying everywhere, enemies, you just lost too many lives, and I just had to give up playing it for now. I'm going to try installing it on my other console to see if it's just a glitch with being on that console, but I don't know. But it sort of spoiled it for me after playing it for a couple of hours. What about you, Fabio? What have you been playing?
It happens, but like, not much actually. I've been playing mostly. I played during this week some Minecraft Dungeons. I'm playing right now mostly some Halo matches, but I am still on my way to revisit the whole Assassin's Creed series. I was able to finish Assassin's Creed 2. Now I'm jumping into Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and that game, in my opinion, I'm not saying that this is a general fact, but that game, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood game, is the best from the franchise. I love it, and so good, man. It's going to be fun to revisit that game. But other than that, nothing much exciting. Like, of course, we had some really awesome playthroughs with Alucard on State of Decay 2, but that's it.
Yeah, you guys entered when you guys joined me. My base was being attacked by the biggest horde I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's because we bring you luck.
Yeah, I was like, wow, like you guys are really lucky. Like you guys get to die. like, I have like 10 survivors, and they're all armed with machine guns, and I have a sniper tower and everything, and we still had problems. Like because that game got so hard because I had it on like the difficulty settings, and so like every zombie was a blood plague zombie. So it's like, man. And like the bloaters, you can die from a blood plague bloater within like 5 minutes. Like so it's like, I have it set at the blood plague, you die in 5 minutes. So it's like, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous game. But
Oh, you were playing in nightmare mode.
I had like those difficulty sliders. So like I had action or combat to nightmare, and everything else was set to lethal zone. So because lethal zone for combat is even harder, and I'm not ready for that yet, I don't think. Because I think nightmare is 10 minutes, you die from blood plague, and lethal is 5 minutes, I believe. So but the clock can go even faster because I kept on getting hit by blood plague zombies. So I didn't know I was infected. I had 3 minutes left. 2 of my guys were going to die in 3 minutes. So it's just like panic mode. And I think that's more fun when you have to worry about it. Before it was just like too easy. The blood plague was like not a big deal, but now it's like dangerous for everybody to play. So it's great.
Oh yeah, you got to pick up every blood plague sample you find just so you make sure you've got the supplies to build cures if you need them.
Yeah, I know, man.
Before I just kind of left them sitting there. Now, nope.
It was terrible. We joined, and like he'd already started his world up, and we joined, and obviously because we hadn't played a lot of State of Decay, we joined with like I had like a crossbow with like 4 arrows, and like the other guy had a pistol, and that was it. We didn't have anything, and it's just like these plague zombies everywhere attacking us, and it was like we've just joined just to die, and then we finally managed to. I think like 2 waves, one came after the other, and then we were like, right, we'll do a mission, and we went out to save a survivor, and then we started it, and then we just got absolutely destroyed by like a tank or something like that, and it just blew all the cars up. So it was just us 3 like sprinting away, leaving all the AIs to die, looking for a new car.
I hate when the juggernauts destroy my cars. I get so pissed. I'm like, damn you.
Or going back to your base because you just got a radio call saying that a zombie a horde is incoming, so you got to get back and help defend the base. And you get back there and you find 2 blood plague juggernauts in your base. And you're like, oh shit,
Yep.
This is going to be a long day.
Yep, definitely. But that's the way the game should have been when it launched, though. But that's another topic.
It should have not been peer-to-peer. It should have been server-based from the get-go, because all the connection issues at startup, that peer-to-peer stuff, that's like 90s tech. Nobody plays peer-to-peer anymore.
Hopefully the State of Decay 3 will be its own servers.
Oh, that would be awesome.
7 I preferred about the second one. I've only played a bit of it, but the first game I got really into, and then I stopped playing for a little bit. And then I came back after 4 or 5 days, and lots of people had starved to death or left my camp because I hadn't logged back on.
Yeah, that was cool. They got
kind
rid
of
of
just
that.
killed my momentum with the first game. It was like, yeah, I'm out. I can't log in every day. It's like, just to feed you people.
It's like going back to a Tamagotchi you've forgotten, and it's just like laid there like, why have you killed me? Please feed me.
Yeah,
I can see why they got rid of that. That's too much maintenance for people to deal with.
But yeah, one other thing we did, obviously, if you follow our podcast and you've been listening to the previous episodes, we didn't do one last week because we were part of a Podcasters Halo tournament. If you watched on the channel instead last week live, you will have seen us get absolutely eviscerated in the first round. We had a stunning landslide defeat of 6-0.
Oh man.
Wow.
I refereed that match.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me of that, please.
It was terrible. No excuses. We were outplayed by a much better team. We lost to Green Paths Gaming, so they've just won again their second round today. So we didn't lose to a losing team. They've gone on, so that's good. Obviously, they were the better team. So if you haven't watched any of this tournament so far, there are highlights around one on YouTube. And I've been sharing it all on Twitter and stuff like that. So just check out our socials for all the details. But I'd just like to thank everyone like Forkboy Gaming, Mr. Tushy for inviting us, all the referees, all the people behind it. And I can't remember all the names. Hush. Was it Beyond the Box Gaming that set it up?
Yes.
So a big thank you to all of them. I mean, this is our first sort of tournament as a team, and it's been great to mix. And we've met loads of great new podcasters, loads of new Xbox players. I mean, we had two great people playing along with us who were like ringers for the day, and I feel really bad that we absolutely let them down. But we all had a ton of fun.
It's been good being a referee. I've had a good time. I refereed the match, the Green Pass Gaming match today, and they just it was 6-0. They destroyed them.
I watched their stream afterwards. I watched their video of it, like the recording, and they played like a proper team, whereas we'd not played together beforehand.
I mean, they weren't close.
No,
they were just destroying them.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they go on to do either top or close to top, so we can be like, well, we lost to the winners. It's all good then.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But it's been great, and I like I said, I'll definitely be playing more Halo from playing that, and hopefully entering more tournaments. I don't think I'll be entering the PGA Tour one, but more action games, shooters, co-op sports games, stuff like that. I'm definitely going to be interested in keeping an eye out, so we can join as a podcast going forward again.
For sure, it's going to be a pleasure to replay with all those people. Not gonna lie, it was really an amazing experience, mostly because of the fun and the people that we met, and including our good friends from Green Pass Gaming.
Yeah, they've been.
If you do a league tournament, count me in.
Definitely. You can't be as bad as other stuff though, so we'll take all the help we can get.
Exactly.
Well, I can tell you, so I'm in the Gaming Beyond the Box, the Society match in PGA 2K21, and every tournament that we have, the winning score is usually 70 something under par.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. So if you can't eagle half your holes, just hang it up. And I can't. That's why I'm 4th or 5th every week.
I suck at golf games. It's just one of the sports games I just can't seem to get my head around. Apart from Worms Golf, I kind of like Worms Golf, where you could like spin it and stuff. But that doesn't really count as a proper golf game. I know
That's
that.
2D. It's not. Yeah.
But it's so fun.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I think I'm better at playing golf in real life than I am at video games.
Showing my age a bit, but I was very good at John Palmer golf on the Mega Drive. Or was it Arnold Palmer? I don't know.
Arnold
I'm old.
Palmer,
I forget these things. There we go, Arnold Palmer. Not a big golf fan, but I was great at that game.
Right, shall we move on to the news? Because obviously that's what probably most people want to listen to. So going in, we'll start with the smaller stuff first, and obviously then work up to the main event of the news from this week. Fabio, do you want to get us started?
Again, if my connection helps. But for what we have during this, it wasn't actually during this week, it was actually during last week, where we didn't record any episodes. But we had the news saying that Minecraft Dungeons is going to have an arcade. So, what do you think about that? Any criticisms about the game? Anything? Any suggestions of how this is going to work? What do you think, guys?
I think it looks quite fun. because it's like 4-player. It reminds me of the Turtles arcade machine. So anything where 4 people can stand around an arcade machine is pretty awesome. But it's also a pandemic, so it's probably not going to get used very often at the moment.
Yeah.
Sounds like something I would actually want in my house. It looks like something I would actually want in my house.
The look of the arcade machine looks really awesome. I must admit, they've done a really good job of like the aesthetic of it. It doesn't really show you a lot of what the game looks like. It looks like more of a card-based system or something like that. It's a very strange sort of scannable system. Like you scan cards to unlock things in it and stuff. So I think this is more aimed at probably the sort of Japanese market where they can sell them these packets of cards to unlock stuff.
Well, they're doing all the testing in the US right now.
Are they really? I just wouldn't have thought like buying sort of physical cards for arcade machines would be popular, but I could be totally wrong.
I read the article earlier, and right now the demos have rolled out in cities in the U.S. that are not under lockdown.
Ah, that's not bad then.
I mean, so basically it'll take your, like, you work towards goals and achievements in the game, and then when you finish a gaming session, it will spit out a card that you can then scan on your next play to give you that ability on your character that you earned the last time you played.
Oh, that's pretty cool then.
Yeah.
I would definitely play it though. I do love my arcade machines, so I'm always interested in stuff like that. I always wanted the Silent Hill arcade machine in my house. I don't know why, because it's terrible, but I just really wanted it. Has anyone played the Luigi's Mansion arcade machine? Oh my god, that is amazing. You have like a vacuum cleaner and it proper like sucks while you're using it. Oh, it's amazing. It's crazy. It's just like House of the Dead, but with Luigi's Mansion, basically.
I didn't know they even existed. Oh, that sounds really fun, actually.
Yeah, I've only seen one in the UK. I've only ever seen one. Same with Silent Hill arcade machine. I've only ever seen it once. But they're just weird sort of on-rail shooters, but I just want them. If I had space in my house for an arcade machine, I probably would.
Need to make a room just for arcade machines.
I've tried. I've been told no. I've even tried with the do you know the arcade 1-ups, the slightly smaller ones. I want the Turtles one of that. You know, the 4-player Turtles one.
Oh, I love that arcade so much. That's the best arcade game ever.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's so good. But I don't have enough space, unfortunately, to put them in at the moment. Maybe
you
one
got to be
day.
sneaky and like order one of those the storage units and just have that as your arcade corner.
I'll put it in my shed in my garden. I'll empty that and just run a
there you go.
power cable into its shed.
Yeah.
That's the future.
That's the solution. There we go. That's it.
But yeah, like I said, there's not a huge amount of details on this Minecraft machine. I haven't seen any sort of like gameplay of it or anything. There might be some online now, but when I last looked, when they first announced it, I haven't seen anything. So I'll probably just keep my eye out and see if it ever does come to the UK when I'm able to go outside and breathe the air and go to the beach and go to the arcade machines on the seafront. But right now, yeah.
At least it's something interesting because the style of gameplay that Minecraft Dungeons has, I think it works really well for an arcade machine as well. So I think it's gonna go well.
And they did say that there will be 60 cards to collect, and when you play, you'll be able to scan up to 5 cards to add to your ability.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So you could have the whole collection and just go in with a different build every time you play.
Nice.
Hopefully they keep supporting it though, because I'd worry that in the future, like arcade owners aren't going to want to keep buying new cards to put in these blooming machines to top them up over the years. But if you can get in early and play, then definitely awesome there.
Well, if there's anything that has popularity going for it, it is Minecraft.
Yeah, true.
Sure.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, then we're going to move on to some crappier news. I mean, we'll get the rubbish news out of the way early.
Can you go with that, Ash?
Yeah. So the studio that made Disintegration, which was on Xbox and other consoles, came out last year, I believe, or maybe the year before. V1 Interactive has announced it's shutting down. Honestly, I haven't played Disintegration because of all the sort of early reviews of it sort of killed my interest off. But I believe it was founded by the co-creator of Halo at Bungie. Is it Marcus Leto?
Yep.
So there was big star power to this, but it just seems to have gone the same sort of way as Cliff Bleszinski's studio, where they're trying to go off that name, and what they've actually put out isn't as good as the sort of hype they've created for it. Wasn't like a hybrid? Wasn't Disintegration like a hybrid strategy and shooter game, if I remember?
Yes.
Yeah, and just no one played it.
Yeah, they actually removed the multiplayer back in November because it didn't have enough people.
Yeah, the game launched in June and they removed multiplayer 4 months later.
Mm-hmm.
They did change the achievements on that though, didn't they? If I remember, I think I read somewhere that they were actually going to patch the achievements so you could unlock the online ones on single player. I don't know if they ever did it, but I remember them saying it, and I thought at the time, well, that's a good idea. It's going to at least keep people interested, but obviously, it's not worked out. But obviously, if you're going to shut your multiplayer servers down after 4 months, it's not a good sign, is it?
Yeah, it's a shame. I've actually never played this game, but it did seem a little interesting, so I want to at least give it a shot.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
still confused as to what the game is, because like from the trailers I've seen, it had kind of the whole Destiny kind of aesthetic to it, where they had like the upgradable armor and the face covering and what have you. But then the gameplay was it first person shooter? Because most of the time they seemed to be in a vehicle that was flying around trying to shoot stuff. So I didn't know what it was from watching the trailers. It was like a very mixed message.
Yeah, that's what put me off. I could never kind of pinpoint what it was before launch.
Pretty sure it was a shooter though, since it was the co-creator of Halo, right? Why would he make a third person or anything like that?
Well, it worked the same way as your Halo game did. So you were first person during combat, but every time you got in a Warthog in Halo, you went third person.
Yeah.
So it worked the same way.
Okay.
Let's just hope that the driving mechanics are way better than Halo, because holy fucking shit.
Oh yeah, I hated that. I always hated that.
We've just finished Halo 1 on Legendary. Oh my god, that last level.
The final section with the Warthog, and like the pressure was all on me because I was the one driving. Ash just, okay, I'll stay on the machine gun and fuck you, go on.
It's like whoever's idea it was to use the camera for your steering. Just it was awful.
I assume it probably was originally due to the fact it was on PC and it was to use the mouse, but who knows? Because it's goddamn awful, and especially the last level of Halo 1 where you have to get to the end within that time limit, and if your Warthog like blows up or something, and you can actually get stuck in areas and you can't get any further because there's hills on either side that you can't get out of without a vehicle, so you have to sit there and wait for the time to run down. So we did that a couple of times. It's just bad level design, unfortunately, but we did it and we celebrated.
The worst part for me about that level was how crazy the momentum of the car works. It's really bizarre.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm going to be that guy and just say that I really like the way the Warthogs handle in Halo CE. I love power sliding around corners and kind of like flicking the thumbstick back and forth to look in front and to the side. But
it is
fun.
It's
something you have to get used to.
Like, don't, it is fun. It is frustrating as hell, especially when you have a timer.
Yeah.
Up until the last level, it's enjoyable. The last level on Legendary, when they were like twitting you and you were dying and stuff, it just stopped being fun, and it got to mind-numbing frustration where I felt I could scream.
One thing I noticed on MCC is if you flick between the two game modes, you've got that as you're going towards the end, where you're going like down through the tunnel, then you do a jump and you come down through the tunnel. As you flick to one of the versions, there's extra pillars that stick out slightly down the sides of the underground bit, and the Warthog would catch it every time. And if you switch to the other mode, they're not there, and you can go straight clean through.
There you go. Pro tips there, because we were only playing in the like upscale graphics, apart from for like flicking in between now and again. So we hit a lot of those.
Yeah, the older version.
We're going to have to do a second playthrough on Legendary, and
no, we're not.
But shall we move on?
Yeah, it just sucks though. It sucks when studios are shut down. Like I say, we just hope that everyone obviously doesn't lose completely out of a job, and they end up finding new jobs around the gaming industry. So hopefully they find new teams and new companies to move to. Because like I said, the game wasn't terrible. It just, I don't think it hit its right marketing, and it didn't hit the right target. And obviously, as a new company, sort of a newer company, everything rides on a successful game. And if it just doesn't hit those numbers, then that's it. It's happened time and again, unfortunately.
Coming out in the middle of a pandemic was good for players, but it wasn't so good for the studio, who then had to, depend on doing things from home.
Exactly.
No, it actually was horrible for the developers. Delay Halo Infinite. That's one example. And like everybody was waiting for Halo Infinite to become a launch title for the Xbox Series X. But I get it that it was necessary for them to delay the game. But still, the pandemic just fucked everyone up. Simple as that.
Have you guys noticed how many games that are due to release in 2021 no longer have a release date?
There's a lot.
It just says 2021 because they know they're going to have to delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they removed the release date for Far Cry 6 off the Microsoft Store 2 months ago.
It was meant to be out in February. Yeah, they've just got rid of it.
I think people now, especially as well with Cyberpunk, with the constant delay, we're not delaying it anymore, but we are, and then it's actually still going to be crap and full of bugs. People aren't risking it now, so they'd rather just say it's coming at some point instead of giving a set date, because if you set that date and you miss it, everyone gets angry. Whereas if you just say we're delaying it, we'll let you know more soon, then
because there's not enough games to play, Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
At least Microsoft.
We are all of us here are like all of us here are Game Pass users, right?
Oh yeah.
Like why are we complaining about not having many games? God damn it.
I don't know. Like, I was looking forward to Riders Republic. I think that's the new game, the Ubisoft game, and they took that down. It's no longer listed as when it's coming out.
So, that was due next month. I thought this month. I think it was due.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Oh, I like the look of that. That's one of those games that could be really fun if it's done right.
Yep. I have a game by them. It looks like what's it called? Trials Rising. I think that game's awesome. It looks like the old Nintendo game. I can't think of the old Nintendo game. It's Excite Bike. That's what it reminds me of. Excite Bike.
Oh, I used to play that so much.
This Trials Rising or Trials Fusion is the other one. It's amazing. You should definitely get it. I think it was on sale for like $10. So it's like, how could you beat that price?
Yeah, they've all definitely seen what Cyberpunk went through delaying it 3 weeks here, a month there. That's why people have just they've just removed release dates, and Microsoft went as far as saying, okay, you're going to be waiting a whole year for Infinite, but it will be right when you get it.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just how the gaming media is. And some of these crazy fanboys that I don't understand. I guess they're like, I don't know if they're children or they're man children that complain. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like games are supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to fight. Fight about it.
Have any of you tried to interact with the social media account for The Ascent?
No.
Because that was one of the games showed off when the Xbox was first unveiled. But that's been delayed and there's no new date. But it's got like the theme of the game is it's a big corporation that runs everyone and determines how much time you get, and often it's a very serious theme about corporations running the world. And if you ask a question regarding anything about the game, it replies with like an in-game kind of response in the world that it's set in. So people are going mad and they're trying to get a release date, and it just responds in, you are not allotted any more break time under section 412 of, and it just goes off on like a law rant at them.
Holy shit.
That game looks so cool, man. Like, when I saw that, I was thinking, yeah, cyberpunk, over the top RPG, like action. I was like, I'm buying that. Like, I'm getting that. Like, some games I'll buy even if they're on Game Pass, man, because I love them so much. Like, I bought Forza, I bought State of Decay, I bought Gears 5. So it's like, that's just how I am, though. I'll buy games if I really like them.
Yeah, same here.
That's one of the points of Game Pass. That's one of the points of Game Pass. If you enjoy, buy it.
Yeah, it gets people to buy the game or buy the DLC. So it's like, it's kind of like a big demo almost, kind of feel.
Yeah, but it is a demo where you can play the whole game before you decide if you're going to buy it or not.
Yeah, I think I don't think I could live without it now. If they took it away, I would be devastated.
Everyone would be, my friend.
Because you can have like a community game night through Game Pass, like everybody, hey, everybody's got Game Pass, let's all play this one game, this multiplayer game.
Yeah, that's what my friends do all the time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because most of them don't really buy games, so they're just like, all right, it's on Game Pass, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't take that away. There's no way. It's going to be around forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
There's a Valve in the comments said he bought Control after completing it on Game Pass to obviously get the like updated version with the DLC.
Yeah, so did I. I bought Control, the Ultimate Edition. Yep.
I've bought loads of DLC for games though as well from just playing the standard version on Game Pass. Like I bought the Minecraft Dungeons DLC, Forza 4, Horizon 4 Ultimate. I've bought loads, and I mean, I buy a lot of games, but I've now been able to buy a lot of different games and still play the other games. So I've got twice as much, but I'm still buying more. Like I'm buying extra DLC for the for all the Game Pass stuff, and then I'm able to then not spend that like 50, 60 quid on a brand new game for Xbox. Like when I want a Crackdown, I didn't have to go out and buy it, thank God. And then I've been able to like buy more stuff. So like I say, I've been buying like when the Series X came out, I ended up getting stuff like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, and then I ended up playing most of the launch titles have since come to Game Pass. I think the only one that's not been on, or that I haven't been able to play either from buying it or playing it on Game Pass now, is Like a Dragon, and I think that's literally the only one because Dirt's just come on, Dirt 5. It's absolutely fantastic. I cannot complain. So much value.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get better.
I know.
Exactly.
We hope so.
Exactly.
I mean, that's, like it's obviously, I think the library is going to keep growing because, when you think about it, if Xbox is going to decide to keep all of their games on there forever, because, that's their first party stuff, then, whenever they release new games, it's just going to keep adding to the library. So they're always going to have like the minimum amount of games on there is going to be bigger and bigger. So
Exactly.
Yep. And Phil Spencer, he put that to rest Thursday.
Yes, we'll get into that soon.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Why is
What-
everyone spoiling all the schedule, goddamn?
Nothing
let's
happened.
Go
Nothing
back to the
happened.
topics.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, where are we up to? Because I ran off to the loo, so I may have missed something.
You're the fucking host, so what do you mean? Hey,
That's
that-
what
that's why
I've
I'm the
brought more
co-host.
people in for. So if I
There you
need to
go.
go to the toilet, if I just need 5 minutes to myself, I can now. That's the whole point.
the Atlas game discussion, I think, is next.
Yes. So obviously the next bit on our list is the there was a load going around on social media about Atlas games coming to Xbox or potentially coming to Xbox in the future. Now this was on I believe it was a Sega questionnaire that was sent out to people.
Yep.
Hopefully they do. So there's not much to it. Like I say, they may never come out, but the way Sega is now getting closer and closer to Game Pass, and with all the they announced how successful it'll be,
Rumors.
and the rumors.
As well as the rumors of Microsoft buying Sega.
But there's not many Japanese-focused games that Sega, like as a parent company, hasn't brought to Xbox now that come out on other consoles. The only one really that people will sort of like the headlining names is Persona. So I would like them to come over, and I'm assuming a lot more people would as well.
Yeah. Would
So
be awesome.
I put together a little Atlas timeline earlier before the show, and just to show you how varied they are on Windows and Xbox. So back in 2011, Persona Catherine was an Atlas game, and it released in 2011 on the 360.
Yep.
It didn't come out for Windows until 2019. 8-year difference.
Yep.
And then Persona 4 Arena came out on the 360 in 2012. And then Persona 4 Ultimax came out on the 360 in 2014. That was it.
Yeah.
Until 2020, Persona 4 Golden came out for just Windows. And Persona 5 Strikers came out February 23rd, 2021 for Windows. There's a huge gap there with no console releases from Atlas.
Yes, it's
And
just odd, isn't
every
it?
year there are several titles that are put on Nintendo's platform and on PlayStation's platform, but Windows and Xbox left out.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's I liked Catherine. I remember playing that when it first came out. It was such a weird, odd little game. But I would like to see like Persona and stuff like that come in.
Was Catherine the game with the weird blonde girl who's trying to force herself on you?
Yes.
I mean, you couldn't make it today, but I do remember the game. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Trying
I feel like
to
part of that was probably because like Xbox's culture in the past now though, because like they weren't really interested in those kinds of games. Like I remember that's like a lot of indie games are coming to Xbox now because they're more open, whereas like in the past they were kind of more closed off and they had more restrictions of like stuff like that. I remember reading about that not too long ago.
But
They
it's
made
at
a
least
first party fighting game. I can't remember the name of it for the OG Xbox, and it looked incredible. And they cancelled it like a month before release because they said it infringed on certain religious beliefs. And they'd only just realised and cancelled the whole game instead of fixing it. So I know what you mean. They used to be a lot more kind of strict on what they would and wouldn't release in case it offended people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank God they changed their culture.
Now I don't care who they offend.
I always find, I mean, you don't want it to be outright nasty, like an attack on someone, but if it makes fun of people or it makes fun of things, as long as it's tongue in cheek, that's fine. And honestly, if you don't like it, don't play it, don't watch it. I always hate when things like that happen. Like when I love South Park, but people say it's horrible, but it's just
I love
that's
South Park.
it takes the mess out of everything equally. So
It's like It's like a
Just
rapper
like,
once
I think
said,
that
we all grew up on South Park. How can we be offended?
Exactly.
I know.
exactly. Like I think it's funny when the guy gets offended by a joke with something and then he likes to watch South Park. Like what?
Well, one of my favorite games is Sunset Overdrive, and they make fun of nerds, jocks, like everybody.
Oh.
And it's like that game is. I love that game, and it's like if you're offended by that game, man, you got problems because it's like it's just picking fun and having fun, you know. But that's like one of my favorite games, and they make fun of everybody, and it's like they do it in a it's like innocent kind of just fun humor, you know. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and it suits the game really well.
It's a shame we'll never get a sequel on Xbox now, but
Yeah,
I
well, you
know.
never know. You never know.
I'm so pissed.
They said PlayStation exclusives weren't coming to PC, so you never know. A Sunset Overdrive may one day turn up on on Xbox. You just never know. And
On
speaking of that,
PlayStation, I'm certain they are going to.
speaking of that though, if they bring it out on PC with the new
Yeah.
upgrade to Edge, which is something we're going to talk about, I'm going to slide in there now and stick this bit of news in.
Mhm.
With the new
What
Edge
you did
update that's
there?
currently being tested, you would be able to play it on your Xbox anyway, as long as it's on PC or Stadia.
If it's
That'd be awesome.
streamable through a browser,
Yeah,
you'll have it.
I can't wait to try this Edge. I was gutted that I checked my insiders the other day when I saw it online, and I'm not in that band unfortunately. But yeah, so basically, Edge on Xbox is getting an upgrade, so it's not terrible, and it's now capable of running streamable games. So
Yeah.
if you've got Google Stadia, the 5 people out there, you can now play it on your Xbox. Fantastic. If you've
Nice.
got Nvidia Shield, I believe it's Shield. Oh no, GeForce Now. Sorry, Nvidia Shield's the handheld, isn't it? If you've got GeForce Now, you can play your Steam games through your Xbox, and that is fantastic. I don't know if it's an intentional thing Microsoft have done, but
Oh man, I want to try that now.
Brad Sams did a video on it on YouTube the other day. He showed video capture from somebody using Edge on their Xbox through the Alpha Skip Ahead program, and it looks to be the full unbridled version of Edge with drop-down menus and everything.
yeah, it does look good.
Wow.
Could that be a sign though as well that eventually we'll be able to do Game Pass like xCloud streaming through the console for like demos and stuff like that? Do you know, like there's that patent for PlayStation where you can stream for the demo before you play it, while it's something like that, but using xCloud. Do you think that'll, in some part, be linked in with the Edge browser, or do you think they'll just bring it out separately?
I do believe that's coming, definitely. xCloud will be streamable on your console because it is a way to get around the storage constraints of how big games are getting.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
especially on Series S
Fair
as well.
points.
I think it's weird as well how the PS5 shipped without a browser around the same time. Everyone realized you could run Game Pass through browsers on fridges.
It's probably been done
So
for a reason.
Yeah, they said it's a security issue. I think they knew people would find a way to get Game Pass running on there, so close it off.
I bet Pornhub are really sad because wasn't it like 40% of Pornhub subscribers or something use PlayStation or something? I bet they're gutted all those PlayStation subscribers can't access that anymore.
Get girlfriends asking why you're keeping the PS4 around.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they did. Sony came out with a statement the other day, about a month ago, where they said they were going to start restricting content. That's got to do with that Pornhub on their browser, doesn't it?
Exactly.
They're also going to, in Japan, they
Okay.
can't show mutilation or decapitation in games anymore on PlayStation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it was.
And they're taking off your movies as well going forward. They're stopping the movie store.
Yeah, you can't rent movies
I mean, not that it matters to me
No,
because I just use apps, but some people out there still buy and rent movies direct to their consoles. So
I do. Man.
it's just one thing that I don't know why you would get rid of, because it's just it can't cost them anything. It's just to keep the store active. They'll take a cut of everything they sell. As long as they've got the store there, they don't have to put the new content on. It just seems odd they're literally getting rid of it. It's just maybe no one's using it.
Well, if you spend any time on Twitter at all, which I know you guys do, PlayStation guys don't like renting things; they like to own it. So it's a really weird move.
They like to spend $70, right?
Yeah, I commented on a guy's post one day where he took a picture of his wall where he had this shelf that had hundreds and hundreds of discs on it, and I said, I haven't bought a disc this entire generation. I bought everything digitally. And he just acted like it was such a bad idea. And I'm like, look, at least I won't get screwed by trying to sell my game to GameStop and getting $5 for it. I'll always have it.
Yeah, I've
exactly.
gone full digital with Series X, like this gen. And last generation, I've probably got about 40 discs, but compared to how many I did buy, and 90% of those were bought when it was like 4 for 20 quid. Like in games, like secondhand. I didn't really rush out. If it was a new release, I bought it on Xbox Store. And nowadays as well, if people don't realise this, if you've got Xbox rewards, yes, digital games are usually like £5 more, but you get a £5 worth of credit back for buying them digitally. So just buy the game, get the £5 back, and use that on another game. So then it's not cost you anymore, and you've got it digitally, and you don't have to go to the shop, and it's there waiting for you on launch.
And when you buy a
Exactly.
game digitally, you get, there's a percentage of that purchase that gets transferred into your Microsoft points.
Yeah,
You get like 500 points per game purchase or something.
Yeah,
I think only
rewards.
pre-order, no?
No. With the Microsoft Store, you get points for everything you buy game-wise, I believe. It's just not very high. But if you go on the rewards app, sometimes they do special offers for pre-ordering or buying a new release, and they're like an extra 5,000 points. But for everything you buy, you still make points up as well. So if you buy a big game, get a voucher with the points, and then buy another game, that then adds more points back onto your card. So like your total. So it's sort of like a win-win. I mean, it obviously it won't keep giving you the same amount every time, but you can easily rack up points. And especially now the Edge is good, you can get more points on Edge as well. With Bing.
Yeah.
I know guys who have
like a $500 card.
7 years.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you set up game share, you're paying half price for games as well.
That's true.
So that's another advantage of digital. You know, a game is half the price because you and your friend are splitting games, buy one copy between you, both get to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That, and, you know, with Xbox's backwards compatibility, I can buy a game now, and I know that I'm still going to be able to play that game 10 years from now on their next console.
Yeah, they've said forwards compatibility going forward for everything, haven't they? Sort of basically.
Yeah.
I'd assume that's barring any sort of weird peripherals they may or may not conjure up in the next sort of years. But for all the core games, you can play them all going forward.
It doesn't require a Kinect. You can play it.
I'm surprised they haven't brought out like an optional like 10 quid cable just so you can use Kinect, because it's got the power to run it and probably run it better. It's dead. It's dead. But there's a lot of people that have games and Kinects who may want to keep them in their collection.
Yeah, I think they're trying to distance themselves away from
that makes sense.
Yeah, it just caused enough damage during this last generation, so...
I've still got my Kinect
guy
plugged
this week, didn't they?
Because I mean, a lot of people love that Sesame Street game, especially parents with their kids. But it's that was like probably like the only one I think. Other than that Pets game, I think there was another one like the dogs or.
I like the Kinect Sports, and there was another one.
Kinect Sports Rivals.
Yeah, and there was another. There was a couple of Kinect games that weren't terrible. What was it? Was there a Double Fine one where you were like a gunslinger? That wasn't. Is it the Gunslinger? That wasn't.
No, it wasn't Double Fine. It was Twisted Pixel, something like that.
Yeah.
From the creators of the Mall.
Yeah, Double Fine.
Called Gunslinger.
Didn't Double Fine make the Sesame Street game then?
Yeah. That was Double Fine.
Did someone say something had been cancelled this week? I think we talked over you by accident. So.
Sorry. The one guide on about trying to distance themselves from the last generation. The built-in TV guide and recording facilities being killed off this week. That's dead.
Oh no, that's got nearly as many users as Stadia now, so no one's gonna miss it.
Shit.
I miss Snap. They should bring the Snap function back, because nowadays I would kill. I normally play with like Spotify on anyway, so I don't normally play unless I'm playing like a single player game. I would love to have something on in the corner for my telly on or something when I'm not really paying attention to anything, like playing Tetris with a telly on in the background. Give me this option.
Yeah.
I've got a big enough telly. I can have TV on one half and my game on the other half, so my kids or my missus can watch on one side, and I can play my game muted on the other side. I'm happy with that. I don't get why they got rid of it, and especially when Sony have just implemented it, sort of, haven't they? I'm sure they've added something similar to it now with the PS5.
They have. Everyone's raving about it. They love it.
But no one cared when Xbox did it.
It's like an 8-9-year-old feature that we abandoned, and then it's now gone to the other side, and everyone's like, "Oh, look at this! I can get a tutorial on the go whilst they play the game." It's like, yes, this is great. I don't know why we got rid of it.
Yeah, I think the reason it didn't work on the Xbox One was because it just couldn't handle it. It didn't have the power to do it at the time properly. Yeah, especially when you've plugged your Kinect in as well, it was just drained.
Oh,
especially on the original Xbox.
I have a party podcast confessional to make. When I got drunk, I had a blast playing Dance Dance Revolutions with the Kinect.
I've done it too.
Do you know what I enjoyed? I'll top that. I enjoyed doing Lego Star Wars Kinect. Oh, not Lego Star Wars, just Star Wars Kinect. Just where you play as the Rancor and you're smashing stuff, and then you're just like dancing along as Han Solo, just absolutely destroying songs.
Oh, you are reminding me of that game.
Bear in mind, I had a gaming store, like a LAN gaming center, so it wasn't just on my own in my own room like a sad, lonely person. There was like a group of us, and we were taking the mess out of it, and it's fun when there's a group here and you're all having a laugh. It is quite sociable. It just didn't work half the time. And half the games, like I had that Sonic, the skateboarding, flying, racing game, and you couldn't even turn. You just drove forward and bounced off things until you got to the end. And I don't think I ever played it more than once. I think I took it back because it was shit.
Probably was way better than the Tony Hawk game with the skateboard for the Kinect.
Oh my!
I still want to get that.
I remember how terrible it was.
I want to get that cheap. When I find it for like £10, I'm going to buy that and just jump around my living room. Because
Please.
I love Tony Hawk's games, and I love crap like that. I just want to play it. I'll stream it. I'll record it just for a laugh, but I just want to try it.
30 minutes later, it's in the trash.
Exactly.
It goes on the pile with all my other retro stuff. Because with the Guitar Hero control.
About the Kinect on Xbox One, that it would be able to like read your pulse and stuff, and that never turned out to work.
Yeah, it was supposed to be able to do digit tracking and everything, and it didn't do any of that. Not on the customer release, but
yeah,
supposedly don't Microsoft make a killing off it on the with the military for stuff like and programming and businesses and stuff. It's just not very good for gaming.
Oh, if Xbox ever was to fix their broken upload studios, the Kinect would make an awesome webcam for streaming.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's one thing the Xbox is lacking. A proper editing software. The PlayStation one they have is awesome. And they even release like free themes based on like the new games. So you can like theme your streams around the game you're playing. And Xbox just shit the bed and just literally gave up on it straight away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and these are the masters of software we're talking about. It would take nothing for these guys to fix it.
Yep.
Even their capture system has broken since the Series X came out, you know?
Yeah. Guys, we really need to move on to the next topic. We are losing track.
We'll just mute Fabio. We'll keep going. It's fine. Don't worry.
He's just worried the conversation might break out. That's the problem.
Forget about everything else. This is going to be the main topic now.
We'll have a conversation about Kinect on a show one day about the ups and downs of all the games, because I've dug mine out and plugged it in and everything. It's all set up. I've got space to use it. I've built I've got a space in my room for VR, so my Kinect's there as well. So one day I'm going to go back through and play all I've got Dragon Ball Z Kinect and stuff like that. So I really want to try them. I've never played them before, so yeah. I've got Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, you have to like go Kamehameha and like do all the stupid positions.
It never works.
Yeah,
It never works.
it's
Yeah.
like a first person Budokai, but you just punch in and then like doing all the moves, like the positions. It looks terrible, but I'm a Dragon Ball fan, so I definitely want to play it.
Is it as terrible as that Fable game that came out?
Oh, I don't know. I'll try that at some point. I've also got Harry Potter Connect, so I've got a vast array of fantastic games to play
Click
one
and switch.
day. Wingardium Leviosa, and it just doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
Right, we'll move on before we make Fabio pop. There's rumours of an Ubisoft subscription service of some kind, either being part of Game Pass or something to do with Xbox. Now, this could either be the Ubisoft system they've already got coming to Xbox, or it could even be sort of like EA Play on Game Pass, or it could even be something like the Amazon Luna thing they're doing with Ubisoft, where the core sort of older games are included in the subscription, and then you pay an extra fee on top, sort of like a subscription on top of that, like a top up, and then you get all the newer games as well.
Yeah,
I actually think
to the one that's on PC right now.
Yeah,
I think it's more a EA Play thing. Just put your games on a subscription service and that's it.
I don't. I think it'll be the older stuff's included on Game Pass, same as EA Play, but then there'll be an extra couple of quid fee, and you'll get like the newer games like they're doing at the moment on PC. And I'd be happy with that. I understand not every company can put all their brand new games on. They need to make something a bit more back, especially sort of people like Ubisoft that will sell out. I mean, look how much Valhalla and Watch Dogs, they literally brought the fire when the new consoles came out with like Immortals and stuff like that. They were basically the best games on the system at launch. So I'd be happy with like a little top-up fee. And I think something like that could bring more sort of libraries to Game Pass, because they'll give us all the old stuff, which is great, but then there's a little couple of quid fee if you want that certain company's like brand new stuff, and that could make it more affordable. But that's just my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think they're gonna do that. Like, they're gonna have like their older games on there, and then like some of their newer games will come later. But it's gonna help games like The Division, more players.
Or like, I don't know, they may try something like EA Play, where you subscribe to their service, and then you have access to 10 hours to test their new games. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think it'll be just like that.
well,
I think that is a way for them to add their older games, but as well to try to attract the people to test their new games, so they can after that buy it after all the testing hours run out.
Or if you're like me, you try 10 hours, go, that's a great game, can't wait to add that to my backlog in about 4 months when it's free on the service, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's already happened.
Yeah, that's another option.
Does anyone remember when EA Play last year? I think it was either the last Madden or the Madden before. It came out with a 10-hour free trial on Game Pass, or it might have even just been on the store in general. If you if you downloaded the pass, it classed as you'd bought it on the reward points, so you could end up getting like 10 quid worth of points for not actually paying anything, because you could do it with that. And I think it was UFC. It was like a glitch.
Is this still a thing? Is this still a thing? I need to go.
No,
try
no, it lasted like 2 days, but you got 10 hours of free of 2 games and then 10 quid for playing them. Basically, it was great.
Does anyone know if that bug's been fixed with EA, where if you leave the game in a suspended state, it still keeps counting? You used to have to force quit the games, didn't you? Otherwise, it would still count the 10 hours down. Has that been fixed?
You could just come back the next day and it'd run out of time.
It was really annoying. You play an hour or two with your mate doing co-op, and you'd be like, "Oh, we'll pick it up tomorrow." And one of you didn't close it properly, and it's like, "Yeah, I'm not on."
That's not happening now. That's just EA for you, though. That's literally you could expect that from EA.
Yeah, like when we're talking about EA, it's just like with every single Halo multiplayer. There's always some sort of small bullshit.
Oh, did you guys hear? I mean, I don't want to detract too much from the schedule, but did you guys hear about what happened in EA recently with the FIFA game?
What happened?
Oh,
They caught
the guy that was selling the stuff.
Yeah, selling the Ultimate Team cards or whatever for like on like a black market, and he was like a developer.
Oh.
Yeah,
I heard
they're
that.
investigating it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Making
it sounds
loads of money.
bad. Sounds really bad.
How
Yeah.
dare he give you what you're paying for? What he should have done was put it in a pack and gave you a less than 1% chance of getting it, and that would have been fine.
Oh, but he was like overcharging like crazy. Like I think like some of them. I think it was like in UK currency, so I'm not really sure the conversion, but I think it was a lot. It was like over $100 for like one player or something like that. It was
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like that game is so pay to win. It's disgusting.
Got a lot
Like,
of
I don't know
surprise
how
mechanics.
anybody would play that game, man.
surprise mechanics. Don't say pay to win.
Yeah,
So
surprise mechanics.
I used to play Ultimate Team, right? Don't hate me. Go back about 8-9 years.
Boom.
But I
yeah.
never
Okay,
bought a single.
that
pack.
was-
What we used to do was play a tournament every morning, win coins, and then my housemates who I lived with got really addicted to the transfer market on there, and it sounds sad for him. And he used to go in and find players who like fluctuate throughout the day and buy them when they were cheap and sell them later in the day when they were expensive. And he got really addicted to this. He was basically like doing the stock market in Ultimate Team plays for me. And I'd come home and I'd have like 20 Diego Militos in my squad. And I'm like, what is going on here? And he'd be like, oh, later today, I bought him for 40. He's going to be worth 70 grand. We'll sell him off. And then I'd buy teams, log on in the morning, build like a good Bundesliga team, win a tournament before work. And then he'd take my winnings and invest it in players and make more money for me throughout the day. It was so bizarre. We never bought a pack or anything. It's just, yeah, this guy, in fairness, his actual career was a financial advisor. So,
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
But he got addicted not to playing FIFA, just trading the players on the market on there.
Sounds like the perfect partner. You play the game, he makes you money.
Exactly. So
I mean,
that's
yeah.
it. Games define your future.
I mean, it's your decision to play whatever game you want to play, but I guess when if children are buying this stuff and they're becoming addicts at like age 10.
But
That's really
there are
bad.
methods. This is one thing I hate. I mean, I don't think kids should see this sort of stuff, but it's so easy to set up parental controls to stop your kids. If you don't take the time and effort to keep your kids safe online by just switching a button, and your kids spend money on stuff online, it's your own stupid fault. I wouldn't let my kids go online and just jump on a game. It's because people parents do not care.
That one family where the kids like literally wasted their whole bank account on the game on FIFA, I think it was.
Oh my god!
I saw one the other day on Roblox as well. I think he'd spent 12,000 or something like that on Roblox.
Not just on Roblox, but as well as in Fortnite. It happens every time.
That's why Roblox is worth 30 billion, 40 billion or something, because all those kids are spending all that money.
Maybe it's a fair point.
It's ridiculous, man. Like Fortnite, like Epic is rich because of one damn game.
Yeah.
They
were rich because
how the kids went insane because they thought the game was over and done with when they
when they did that shutdown.
Yeah, like to start the new season, everyone thought it was like dead. They were just like, oh, they shut it off. The kids were just crying and yelling, and everyone, like all the parents on Twitter and Facebook were like, please bring the game back. my kid won't stop crying. And
oh my god,
I'm a bad parent and I don't want to take care of him, so please bring the game back for the love of God.
I'm still
hasn't stopped speaking to me for 3 days.
There's like videos of kids like seeing it happen, and it went into the black hole, and they would just start crying, like what happened?
Oh my god!
It was hilarious.
That's hard to stop your kids playing
on early release. So I actually enjoyed the story mode that Epic just completely dropped.
Yeah,
to this day.
that you paid for.
They just stopped. They stopped expanding upon it, but it's still there though. That
It's
mode.
still there, but the
Is it?
story's never been
I
finished.
thought they ju- I
Yeah.
thought they just gave up on it and that's it. Forget that ever
No, you can still
existed.
play it. You can still play it, but
it's
it's
not
never
finished.
been. It's not getting updated. It's not being finished. I know one of the voice actors who did the Black Knight in the story mode, and it's just odd that they put no support behind it because it's not even that bad. The story mode is actually the better game. In my opinion. I mean, it's a different game now to what it was when it launched, but
It's because they only care about the numbers.
Yeah.
that sweet. Naive children spending the parents' savings money. That's what it is.
Exactly.
That's
That
terrible.
was supposed to go to their colleges, but they are spending with us. How nice of them.
I've heard of people where they get their kids specially trained to play Fortnite by professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they pay money for it. There was a whole thing about paying
So
to
they can
get
answer tournaments.
parents were
Ridiculous.
paying for trainers. So someone was making money charging by the hour to teach kids to play Fortnite. Madness.
I remember a long time ago, I read this article. I think it was like 10, 15 years ago. There was that one kid that started. He back when Halo 2 was, the big thing. He was like a trainer on there. Like he was like 12 years old and he was really good at the game. And like parents would hire him to like train their kids. He was like 12 years old. It was crazy.
That's amazing.
Fair
play to him, though.
How fun is that? I could spend my money to pay a teacher to teach you mathematics, physics, chemistry, whatever to my kid. But no, I want him to learn how to play Fortnite and Halo.
It's got to be down with it. Got to be down with it, though, hasn't it? It's got to be in the go. It's got to be the number one.
Preparing our kids for the future, guys. There we go.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter when the robots take us. It's fine.
It's gonna be a
Fine.
mess.
When Google Stadia rises up,
No.
Exactly.
there's nothing left. They will only be able to fight back in Fortnite, so they're being trained up for the digital war.
I don't want just only streaming gaming, man. I don't want that.
I want both. I don't mind streaming. I want both.
Yeah.
When we're 90 and we talk back and we're like, grandson, I remember when there used to be discs that you put into your console. And then Microsoft brought out this thing called xCloud and fucked it up for everyone. Those ponies were right all along. We should have listened.
They brought xCloud and fucked it up, but they bought Bethesda and that was good.
That's it. That's how it's going to end.
Even though Sony did stream gaming, they do game streaming before Xbox did, but somehow it's Xbox's fault.
But PS Now is shit for streaming. The downloading's good, but the streaming on PlayStation Now is... I think they're running it off potatoes in the back. Because every time I've tried it, I couldn't even get it to connect. Because you could get an app in the... I don't know if it's the same in America. You can actually get an app on your computer to run it. And I thought, well, I haven't got a PlayStation at the moment. At the time when I thought, well, I'll download the app and I'll just stream them and play them that way. It's better than going out and buying another console when I only want to play a handful of games. I could not get it to work, so I gave up in the end. But yeah, we'll get back on track.
You imagine having to sit your grandchild down in the future and say, I should have listened to Crap Gamer.
Oh, no.
What a nightmare. Oh my god.
When the aliens invade and they look back at our digital footprint and that's what they see. They look at the times and the hours and stuff and they're like, Crap Gamer and stuff like that. And that's like the digital footprint we've left in the world, the universe. Oh my god.
He's my favourite guy on Twitter. I love him. I always slate him and share a lot of his comments because he's wrong every time. But I just love the fact that he's like an insider who clearly knows nobody on the inside, but just makes wild guesses. I love him.
I just like all people from both. So I'm like all console warriors when they post stuff up. It's not the people that post it up; it's the responses that are the gold.
Yeah,
I love it.
No.
I don't care for the fanboyism and the console wars, but man, I love a good meme. And there's been some absolute fantastic ones in the last couple of weeks. So
Okay, so that's a wrap.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a wrap. Okay, let's go to the next song.
Yeah, so we'll move on before we get waylaid with talking about people we don't care about. The best news of the week, clearly, and there's nothing better than this, is Square Enix has announced that on March 18th, 10 a.m. PDT, they're going to do a digital direct and then premiere the new Life is Strange game. So that's it. There's nothing better this week. We're getting a 40-minute lineup of new trailers and announcements for Square Enix games. 95% of these will just be, this is coming out on all consoles, but half of it's locked behind a paywall on PlayStation. But we're at least getting a brand new Life is Strange game. It doesn't look like it's following any of the previous ones. Like, it's going to be a new protagonist. They've since put a post up with a silhouette. It looks like a female protagonist.
It's going to have an all new ability
Nice.
too.
Yeah, new
Awesome.
ability, and I am a massive Life is Strange fan.
Same here.
All the three I've played of them so far have been fantastic games, and I'm sad because I really want to see more of Max and Chloe. I'm just gonna have to buy the damn graphic novels for that. I think I've given up hope they're ever coming back with a proper sequel, but I cannot wait to see it. I love the sort of story-driven elements and that. I'm assuming it's not being made by Don't Nod though. I'm assuming they're not doing it for Square Enix unless maybe they are.
Really?
I haven't seen them post anything about it, and I would assume if they were making it, they would have said something. So
That's bizarre. Maybe they will talk about it when after this world premiere.
they didn't.
Actually.
They didn't do the prequel though either. I don't think. Don't Nod, if I remember correctly.
No, I think
Man, Donald is such a good studio. Holy shit.
But yeah, they haven't really said much else. They're going to talk about a few other games. So I've got the list here. They're going to talk about Outriders, Marvel's Avengers, which I'm assuming is going to be the next gen upgrade. Maybe they'll actually give us the accurate and official specs of all consoles, not just the PlayStation ones. Tomb Raider 25th anniversary. Please give us a remaster of Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. That's all I want. New Square Enix Montreal games, Just Cause Mobile, which no one cares about, and Balan Wonderland, or Wonderworld, should I say. So that's March 18th. Anything that's piquing anyone's interest other than Life is Strange on that?
My daughter plays Avengers. She won't really appreciate the upgrades, but if I'm having to go through it with her, I think it'd be nice to have something that loads a bit quicker and looks a bit better. Although the gymnastics that Square they've managed to go through by not revealing what the Xbox actually runs like has been great to watch.
It's crazy, isn't it? I've never seen a company act like that. Like, announce the specs of everything else but the opposite console. It's so strange. And they've literally said it's going to be like instant loads on PlayStation, but they won't say what it's going to be like on Xbox.
They've also said the game runs at 4K at 60, but none of the PS5 specs show it doing that.
No.
But they won't confirm that the Xbox does it, but it only has one mode, which is listed as 4K native.
It's strange, isn't it?
No, it's the same thing as I never seen a company just get a character and say, that's mine, and put it on only one console. Like, holy shit.
Well, we picked up the Avengers, didn't we, on sale the other week?
Yeah.
We couldn't even get multiplayer to work. My multiplayer wouldn't. It would just kept kicking me out. So I'm hoping these next gen upgrades fix it.
Please do so.
I've never played the multiplayer mode. I'm just going through the story with my daughter. She streams now and then, so when she wants to, she chucks that or Roblox on, funny enough. And I just sit there next to her and help her out when she needs it. But yeah, I've never played the multiplayer.
But you didn't play the multiplayer because of you are not interested in it, or it's because you never made it to work? Because that's our problem.
I've played some of the single player. I have no intention of picking up the multiplayer.
Fair enough. It happens.
It's not a great game.
But yeah, so that's next week anyway.
Didn't you say they were going to be talking about Outriders?
Yeah, they're going to be mentioning something about Outriders. It may just be sort of like an updated sort of trailer, or maybe a bit more information about it. They haven't really said a lot. It just mentions Outriders on the post they've posted up about.
Well, that's what I'll be interested about.
Nice. As well as not only we are going to have this Donut Square Enix events on March 18th, but we also are going to have on March 17th a stream to show us the development process of Dying Light 2. So, what do you guys think? Hopes for Dying Light 2? Is the game going to be released? Is it going to be exclusive to Xbox? Because some people have been saying rumors that the studio is going to be acquired by Microsoft. I don't think so. But what do you guys think?
Oh, that would be awesome. I love
Microsoft sent their team to help Techland. So that's where the rumors got started, that it could be because if Microsoft is helping to fund and develop the later stages of this game, then Microsoft may have a stake in its release. But so that's where those rumors came from.
Something like a time exclusivity? Something like that?
We don't know.
Or day one on Game Pass? Man, day one on Game Pass would be awesome.
That's what I think.
I mean, the gameplay trailer that they came out with was like a year ago or something like that. It looks crazy. It's really good.
Yeah, I know Microsoft went to Techland to aid in the addition of DirectX ray tracing.
Nice.
So it's going to be very pretty. We know that.
No, yeah, sure. I really enjoyed the first Dying Light.
Yeah, I was impressed.
What I played.
I played through it twice, and I loved it. It was great.
Like, I played, I wasn't able to finish the campaign because I had a lot of games and a lot of work to do during that time, but I intend to revisit because, man, I just loved all the parkour mechanics. It works so well.
Oh yeah, that game is so seamless and it flows so well.
Yeah, it made parkour easy.
Yeah, and the grapple hook, so fun.
Oh yeah.
Take that, Assassin's Creed.
But who knows when it's coming out?
Maybe we'll find out next week or whenever they.
Yeah, or maybe it's going to be like Cyberpunk. See you after 12 years.
I mean, Phil's going to walk out and be like, exclusive, and then just walk off.
Exclusive.
Just to make everyone really hate him.
It's scary to think, but it looks like we may even get Dead Island 2 before we get Dying Light 2, which is odd.
Yeah.
The developers of Dying Light 2 did put a post up, was it yesterday or today, where people kept saying that the game's in development hell, and they kind of said, well, we're not in development hell, we just showed the game too early. It's a long way left.
Yeah.
We are not in development. We are not in development hell, especially because we are not developing anything.
I thought that game was canceled.
Yeah,
I thought it was already cancelled. Actually,
that's the update. It's going to be cancelled.
They make a whole event just to say we're canceling it.
Yeah, that's it.
Like Dying Light is like so much better than Dead Island. I thought it was so much better.
Yeah, I love Dead Island when it released though, and when you were like in a car and suddenly you would just fly into the sky and then explode and stuff. It was like playing like Morrowind or something like or Oblivion. It was just that type of crazy buggy giant open world game, but it was so fun in co-op. Loved it.
Yeah,
I do like Dying Light. I just didn't care for the parkour. It was good, but it's just me. I will play it and go back and enjoy it.
Does anyone here want to become the new host for the podcast? Because Ash is just
retired. Fired me from my own podcast.
I'm the co-host of this podcast, and I have the right to fire you. That's it.
Is that like how serious we're supposed to take this? Like on Twitter, you're supposed to like get mad because somebody doesn't like your game? Is that how that works?
No, just kidding.
So I bought Dead Light in game in the UK, and when you bought it, it came with a novel.
I've got that novel.
It wasn't a huge book, and I read it long after it came out because I bought the game, played it for a week or two, and then went on holiday. And I read through the book, and it had like spelling mistakes throughout. And
it's terrible.
Just, amazing yet awful, all at the same time. Yeah,
that was at the time when they sort of had like the Fable novels, and all the other games had
Yeah.
novels coming out, wasn't it? I've got that somewhere. I've still got it. It was not a good book, I must admit. It was good for free. You don't complain for a free
Yeah.
book, but yeah, it was very odd.
I think Halo and Gears showed how good a book based on games could be. So every other game was like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I to be fair though, I only bought the Fable book because it had the DLC for the weapons in. So it was like I was buying a weapon and then I got I got a book free. Yeah.
Book.
So I don't complain. It's always good. It's always good.
I'm imagining Ash downloading the new DLC weapon and getting the book and thinking, what the hell am I going to do with this shit?
Yeah. I just chucked it in the bin.
Am I supposed to read this? What?
What's reading?
Hey, the Gears and Halo books were very graphic and detailed. I loved them.
Has anyone read the Assassin's Creed ones? I noticed they brought a Valhalla book out recently, and I saw that and was like, do I do it? Because I love Valhalla. I'm like...
It depends on which comic you are talking about.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know whether I want to buy an Assassin's Creed Valhalla novel or not. Ooh. Maybe I'll see if I can get it cheap online on eBay.
It might have time booster chapters for you, so you get to a page and it'll charge you like £1 to jump 2 chapters ahead or something.
Oh, probably. Oh, don't make me sad.
So let's talk about something that won't make you sad. I hope we got something. We had a post on Twitter from Game Pass. We showing an email saying, "Hey team, so much news today. Hope you don't mind if I add some more. Although it's completely unrelated to other announcements. That new game has been confirmed and is officially coming to the service. As always, keep this confidential. Before I go, I did have something I wanted to ask. Has anyone else noticed a mysterious signal appearing in the distance lately, or am I the anomaly in this situation? Weird question, I know." And after that, people started to speculate what the hell was this about, and some people said it was Mass Effect Andromeda, but that's already on EA Play. Other people are saying that is Outriders or Godfall. What do you think?
Outriders.
Yeah.
Totally Outriders. Does Outriders has a strange symbol in the sky?
Yes.
Oh, so it's Outriders. That's it.
Hopefully.
Case closed. That's
It
it.
is.
That's it. That was a nice topic. That was quick.
It is perfect in the storyline of Outriders.
There's nothing else to discuss.
Because everybody's powers in the game, you get it from the anomaly.
Right.
And in the beginning, you're looking for these signals from what's the word I'm looking for? From these probes these probes that were sent to the planet, and you're detecting this strange signal that has nothing to do with the probes. You don't know where it's coming from, and then you get your anomalies from the storm.
Right.
So it's verbatim. It's the storyline of Outriders.
So
Nice.
that'll be if it
nice.
is Outriders, that'll be a really good
That would be awesome.
Win for Game Pass.
I really
It's nice to
enjoyed that
see.
game so far. It's really good.
Kind of also makes you think about the relationship going on between Enix and Xbox. If this is happening, what's going on there?
They're like, well, we can't give you Final Fantasy because we've already sold our soul on that. But if you give us a big bag, you can have this IP instead. That's all. Square Enix they'd sell the kids if you give them a big enough bag.
Here you go, Xbox. You got a better network, so you can have the online multiplayer game.
Yeah. They'll be like, one of the classes will be locked behind Xbox. That's what it'll be. You can only get it on Game Pass. That's the Square Enix way, locking something behind a paywall or a console.
I'm not gonna lie. Talking about that skins or armors that are locked for other platforms, I just loved the post that Ash did on Twitter saying, if on Elder Scrolls Online we don't see any armor saying last Elder Scrolls game on PlayStation, I'm gonna give up.
Yeah, well, if they're not bringing Elder Scrolls at future games to other consoles, which we'll talk about pretty soon. I promise you guys. They need to do like a sort of like a big sort of an armor and like a cape or a cloak in Elder Scrolls Online. That's just sort of like, savor this because it's the last Elder Scrolls you're gonna get, and it needs like a big finger
That's
on
the name
the
of the
cloak,
armor.
and that's it.
Like that's the name of the armor, you know.
Yeah.
The last Elder Scrolls game you will see on PlayStation. That's it.
Oh, and then there's one more thing to chat
Finally.
about before we. There's also supposedly
yeah.
quickly before we jump onto this last topic before we talk about Bethesda. Someone's posted on Twitter earlier that Sekiro or whatever it's called is supposed to be coming to Game Pass in the next couple of months. I can't remember who posted it because I just saw it when I was flicking before we started the podcast, and it said I'd advise you not to buy it. Wait a couple of months. So there's maybe we'll talk about that on a future episode if more info comes. But I just thought there's some big games coming.
Wait a couple of months. How many months? 36 months. Yeah.
For everybody who was, if they didn't catch it earlier, so Outriders will not be a live service game. What you get is what you get. And Square Enix did say that future DLC and stuff would be dependent on customer reception. And the demo has had over 2 million users so far. So reception is great.
That's good. Hopefully they keep it supported because, I mean, these sort of games thrive off of like continuous sort of DLC in that sort of sense to keep it fresh and ongoing. And I hate it when they just don't get it. It's the worst. Especially if you're one of those people that adopts it straight up.
Yep.
Anthem.
Yeah, Anthem.
Anthem broke my heart, damn it.
Anthem broke everyone's hearts.
Especially if
so
you're
good.
buying if you're buying DLCs and skins and then the game dies, like what the hell?
I think that's
Like,
what
That's just like playing an MMO, though, isn't it? Buying stuff. I buy stuff in games, and I may never get to keep them in the future. So it sucks. It's just hopefully you get that continued ongoing sort of experience, and they don't shut it down.
Anthem was the worst example of doing a looter shooter with no loot. It's just like it was a constant grind, and then you never actually got anything for it or anything that matters or customize your character. But the flying and the shooting I thought was great. Just everything around it, like a story.
This is what I think's wrong with the Avengers. Like the stuff you get doesn't affect what you look like. That's the most stupid loot gathering system ever.
You play as the Hulk and say, "Oh, you got upgraded ribs." It's like, okay, thanks for that.
We'll move on to one last bit of news then. It's just a quick one. So Sea of Thieves will mark its 3rd anniversary on March 20th. So well done to Sea of Thieves. But anyone who logs in between the 18th and 25th of March will get a free anniversary reward, which is a Prosperous Captain Sales. And Game Pass members get an extra bonus, and you get the Jump for Joy emote for free for playing between the 18th and 21st. And also arriving on March 18th is the last update for the game before the start of Season 2. And also more stuff in the store, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, basically, if you're a Sea of Thieves player or you haven't played in a while, jump back in from the 18th to the 21st/25th and you'll grab a couple of extra freebies for your ship and your character.
Speaking of Anthem, that is an example of how you turn a live service game around. Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, totally.
There's a lot of games that done that, like Sea of Thieves. Elder Scrolls Online is one of those. Like the reception when the game was released was just not very good, and then nowadays it's just really successful. Not as big as a game like World of Warcraft, but still way better successful than during its release.
Yeah, I think they just hit 14 million players, isn't it? They've just said they've registered
18 million players, something like that. But and so
another aspect, another game that the developer has continuously supported is Undead Labs with State of Decay 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Developer diaries every month. They keep adding content. They are there for the player.
Oh yeah, you know that. I know all about that too, man. It's been great.
I'm surprised that you were that quiet, Alucard. I was hoping you would say something.
His ears
God
picked
damn
up as
it.
soon as he hears State of Decay. He's like a rabbit. It like pops up. He's like, "What's that?"
Let me tell you, they added one of the small things they added that made the game really different was crossbows.
Yes.
The crossbows added a stealth mechanic that was not in there when it first launched, and you need that for Dread Zone and Nightmare. If you're not quiet, you're done. Like, like you can't just go and you have to put silencers on your guns. Otherwise, you're in trouble, man. You got a horde around you every single second. So, like in those difficulty sliders, you can customize your game. How you can like customize the combat, you can customize the map, so there's less loot or more loot. You can customize your community if it's harder to manage them or easier to manage them. And the combat difficulty slider, what a difference that is. You're talking bigger hordes, everything blood plague. Blood plague goes from you can die from 2.5 hours down to 5 minutes. You could die from it. So it's not just like they made the game harder, they actually changed the game with those difficulty settings. It's actually a totally different game now. And that's a perfect example when they added like the bounty broker. So it's like they added a dynamic that it did not have when it first launched. But I'm hoping State of Decay 3 has more content to it when it first launches, because it's hard to wait. It's hard to wait for some people to wait on these games because everything takes so long.
They shouldn't release them as early though. That these live service games, if they're not going to have the content ready for launch, then they should just wait a little bit longer and then release it when they've got a bit of a backup to keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why I'm glad Outriders has gotten the outpour it's gotten during the demo period, so that the developer can get ready.
Yeah, hopefully they put a bit more resources on it then if they've seen it's got a lot of interest.
Because it's a big risk if you have a game that's like not enough content, like Anthem and like other games that you guys mentioned where they just died. It's like it's a risk, man. Like you better have some decent content and a game plan. You better lay out
not just something decent in content, but as well as updates with not a huge with more frequency for you to release those updates. You know what I mean? I'm talking about you, Bleeding Edge. God fucking
yeah. I mean, come on, Bleeding Edge had like 10 people working on it. I mean, that's not enough.
Nah, but like, man, but like, goddamn it, Grounded has like 15 people playing on it, and it has way more content than Bleeding Edge.
That's
you know what I mean? And it has more frequent updates than Bleeding Edge. I don't know why I'm saying about this, because I love Bleeding Edge. I love playing that game. I still play this game, but I was so heartbroken when they decided to, after a whole year of a limbo of nothingness, to just say, okay, we are not going to bring any more updates.
They did release a dolphin.
Yeah, they did release a dolphin. That's Alucard's favorite character.
Because it's so like ridiculous. So how can you not play it?
Exactly.
Is there like a proper release date for Grounded yet? With like when they're gonna take it and it's gonna have like achievements and be a full game, or have they not said anything yet? Or is it going to be one of those ones of it'll be ready when it's ready?
Yeah, I don't think they did.
I think that's the case.
It
was listed as 2021, wasn't it? But I think that's gone. Like it's just early access, and that's it.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. I think that's better for the game, especially of how big the game has become with its updates. Like they've been taking players' feedback really seriously, and it's just getting better every time they release an update.
I think they're trying to avoid a Fallout 76 launch,
Yeah, exactly.
That's another game that's turned it around, though.
At least Fallout 76 at least had a finished storyline. Anthem released without one.
Yeah.
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 The funny thing about Grounded is if you speak to people who know nothing about the game and you're like, oh, it's coming along at loads. They've added a pond and they've got bees on there now. And to somebody who doesn't know about the game, they're like, a pond and bees doesn't sound like a major update. And it's like, yeah, you're the size of an ant. So it's huge. It's great.
One of my suggestions for the game is for them to add as an update dog boss fights. That would be awesome.
If they don't make Rick Moranis voice one of the random characters, there's something they've missed a trick. It's clearly based on Only I Shrunk the Kids. Give us Rick Moranis as just like he doesn't have to be a main character. He can literally be like some random character that's there for like 2 minutes. He only has to have like 5 lines or something, but get him put in. That's something to jump on. Yeah. Use him to advertise. I mean, that new Avengers advert to advertise as Xbox is funny as hell. Let's get Rick Moranis to advertise Grounded. There's no reason not to. It's just like printing money for me.
Maybe when the game release, we'll be surprised with something. But about surprises, finally, let's go to the main topic because this is pretty awesome. And gentlemen, last year, 6 months ago, we had a surprise that would just make the gaming industry change forever because it was a really big deal. Microsoft announces that they made a deal to acquire Bethesda. And after a lot of speculation of is it going to be exclusive, what the heck's going on, Bethesda was never good anyway, I never liked Bethesda, something like that. A lot of bullshit crap as well. We finally are here where with the deal was done. Bethesda now is owned by Microsoft as well as every single one of the studios that ZeniMax acquired during the years. And we got, in my opinion, all the answers that we needed to know how this is going to work.
Yep.
It's pretty clear according to most people, anyone who had eyes would see it was pretty clear. I mean, even Stevie Wonder would think that was clear what was said. But obviously just some online it wasn't, but...
I literally wrote the quotes that Phil Spencer said for this show here, just to be clear as well. If you want me to read it, I can do it. But
I've got it here. It was lol lol lol. Shut the fuck up, crap gamer. Lols.
Bless him.
He's never recovered from Phil slapping him down, has he? Bless him.
Yeah, it's still one of my favourite tweets that exists.
Read the proper tweet though.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm actually surprised. We made 6 episodes without saying anyone's name, just so we don't get related to any console wars bullshit. But Ash just said, "Fuck it."
Someone brought it up earlier. It's fine. It's fine. I don't care. If you want to be on Twitter and hate everyone, do what you want. It gives me something to laugh about. Yeah. So, what are we gonna do then?
So, here's the thing. In a quote that Phil Spencer said about the exclusivity deals and how this is going to work, he said, I'll try to be as clear as I can. So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive, because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we are going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we are going to go support those games on the platforms they are on. There's communities of players, we love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. And even if in the future there might be things that have either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that we'll go do. But if you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership. Like, why is people still in doubt? Like, how is this going to work? Like, people decided to get this quote, and I don't know, change it a little bit just to say that Phil Spencer intends to put Game Pass on PlayStation. That's it.
All I care about is these games are in Game Pass. I don't care if they're exclusive or not. I don't care.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I do agree with you. But I gotta say that it would be a shot in the foot if they bought the whole company when they could just make a Game Pass deal like they did with EA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean
And,
it's a good business decision to have exclusives, but I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I know what I mean.
I just
Yes,
want them
yes.
on Game Pass. I got what I wanted. They give me on Game
Yeah.
Pass day one.
Yeah.
It's better value for what I get. It's great. I get what
Yes.
Fabio is saying about the whole. If you were gonna buy them for $7.5 billion just to go multi-platform, why wouldn't you instead pay them to make you exclusives like Sony have done with Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo?
That's true. Yeah.
Like
Plus,
I'm not necessarily saying that I want them to be full exclusive. I think
They're botting
they
really bad.
respect every single contractual obligations as well. They are going to shit. And my internet just became a potato again. That's a good guy.
Or you're better now. But
Funny enough, when you said your internet's a potato, that's the clearest you've been.
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
But like,
that's weird.
but like, what I mean is, I don't want them to be full exclusive. What I mean is, I think it's awesome for them to still respect that contractual obligations as well as to continue to support communities from other platforms, as well as with games that there have some sort of legacy as well in other platforms. They will respect that. Like, I would love to see Wolfenstein 3 not being exclusive, because everyone has access to the first Wolfenstein, the New Order, and then the New Colossus. And imagine if the third game would be full exclusive. I would say that's some sort of bullshit, you know what I mean?
It might be
Yeah, I
just
don't think they're gonna do that to existing IPs that have been on other consoles.
I don't know.
It'll be
I
time
don't know
exclusive.
though. I think stuff like Elder Scrolls, because they're not technically linked story wise, that's different. I
Yeah.
mean, Wolfenstein, I
Yeah.
can see definitely being a multi-platform anyway, because I would be
Yeah.
super miffed if I'd bought like 3 out of 4 games and the last one, I just couldn't get a copy of it on the console I'd been playing on all along. So I understand that, but for stuff like Fallout and
Elder Scrolls
Elder Scrolls and stuff
or
like that, they don't need
Starfield.
to be on
I
because they don't have an ongoing story. Now, I bet there'll be some other games. I think
I agree.
even Indiana Jones may be multi-platform when they said contractual agreements, because
Yeah.
what else could there be? But we'll find out in the future. But the vast majority will be
Will
exclusive
be
to Xbox
exclusive.
and Game Pass.
Yeah.
On Game Pass, literally, they said that all their games pretty much are coming to Game Pass, and that's all I wanted to hear, because it doesn't bother me. I don't care how much Microsoft spent. I don't care how much Microsoft make. I just want to know that I'm getting the best for what I pay. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if PlayStation players can't play certain games. I don't care if they're coming to Switch. I don't care if they're on Google Stadia. I don't care if you can stream them on a potato. As long as I can play them on what I'm playing them on with the subscription I've got, that's all I care about. I don't play a ton of Bethesda games. I'm not going to say, oh, they're the best games I've ever played, because I don't play a lot of them. I played Morrowind, I played Oblivion. I've never actually properly played Skyrim. I've just never had time to sit and put into it. I've started playing Elder Scrolls Online. I've never played Wolfenstein, like the modern ones, so I can't wait to play all of them. But for me, I didn't care. I just was happy Bethesda are coming on and bringing all their games with them, and the future is
Yeah.
fantastic. I cannot
Well,
wait.
It's bright.
What I want to see is a mix or collaboration with Halo and Doom Guy. So like Master Chief and Doom Guy maybe in a game.
That's
or
the
something
card
like that.
game. That's the cards game.
Like,
That's it.
yeah, Xbox cart
Yeah.
game. We talked about this a few episodes ago. They need like a stupid, giant, like cartoony like Mario Kart-esque Xbox game now, where it's just Xbox Kart. That's all I want. I'll be happy with that. Take my money. Get Sumo Digital to make it, and you've got a winner.
I think there's two things that we're kind of overlooking here. Is one, this opens up an opportunity for New Vegas 2 to possibly be created.
Oh yes.
Obsidian
Yes.
under Xbox. And the second thing, it's definitely great that these games are going to be on Game Pass and day one and everything. They're probably going to live there forever as long as the service exists. But I think the other big thing is that now at least this opens up an opportunity for Bethesda to actually like make their games better than before, because they're we know Microsoft has the resources to delay games and actually release them when they're better, and they have the resources to allow these games to be better in terms of because before, like with Fallout 76, you remember they rushed to launch because they probably were the executives were like, come on, you gotta get this out like, as soon as possible. Whereas with Microsoft, they're not gonna have to worry about that because just like with Halo Infinite, what happened with that game? It was supposed to release, with the Series X and the Series S, and that would have been a big thing because it's a launch title. So they were smart and they were like, you know what, we messed up. We gotta go back to the drawing board and make this game better. And so I think that's like a really good thing because I can't.
That's
The fact that it's possible that the next Elder Scrolls game is going to release with the least amount of bugs that an Elder Scrolls game ever has released, I think that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Imagine like Fallout 4, but with not all the crazy bugs it had at launch. Because Fallout 4 was awesome, but it could have benefited from like 6 months more work or more, even just more resources. Because like this, I know that Bethesda worked together, but now they can work with all the other Microsoft studios as well. So
yeah,
exactly.
And what else we're also forgetting?
ID Tech.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Yeah, the Microsoft now own a pretty decent engine. They don't have to keep using Unreal all the time. So I would love to see like a Halo or a Gears running on an id Tech.
You don't think they'll do like where the worlds come together? Like
That would
Halo
be amazing.
And
Needs to be like
That
a buddy like co-op shooter.
But
they're both Space Marines. They're Space Marines, both of them, right? So.
But I think it would be mostly to make this huge mix of all the worlds and universes would be only if it was supposed to do reference of each other's games. You know what I mean? Just like as Astrobot on PlayStation 5 done. It's really well done, Astrobot. They got every single major franchise during the PlayStation's history, and they put one little reference of those characters in that game. It's really cool, really well done. So I think it would work only in the way of referencing and not truly being a story where Doom guys mixed with messages, you know what I mean?
We're gonna get
Or they'll have
especially
like
with
stuff like where Doom has Master Chief's armor or whatever, or
Yeah, for sure. That works as well.
343 are too lore heavy since they've taken over to the point where even multiplayer on Halo 4 was written into the lore that they were like on a training lobby on board the Infinity, and like that's why they couldn't have the elites, because you're Spartans, you wouldn't be an elite. And then they've said the same with Halo 5. It doesn't suit the multiplayer because the lore doesn't fit it. So I think they put a Dead or Alive character out, and then that one had to be written into the lore that they were an actual Spartan. I think they need to let that go and kind of just experiment and have fun now and then. Everything they do, they're too concerned that it has to fit the narrative, it has to be lore driven. If it's not in the main game, just let them do what they want.
Well, I know like Forza Horizon 4, there's the Halo race where you race.
You get the Warthog.
And you race against like Halo, like those warships,
That controls way better than the original Warthog.
When are we getting the Xbox Smash Bros? That's all I want as well. I need
that would be awesome.
Now they have enough characters to probably
exactly.
do it.
They could imagine a new Killer Instinct where they put Bethesda characters on it.
Oh man.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
My 2 cents. I believe all the future releases from Bethesda and ZeniMax Studios should be exclusive to Xbox.
Oh, I think they should
100%.
be business-wise. I don't care either way.
And you know, in the gaming landscape these days, where games are only going to get more and more expensive for the consumer, it's going to be very attractive for all these games to be available to you day and date for a reasonable monthly fee.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That
And
works.
first party will always be there. It won't ever go anywhere. And the library's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
It's going to be fantastic.
I'm
isn't
so
it?
sick and tired of hearing fanboys say Xbox has no games.
It has
you know
all the
what?
games.
Here, suck on this.
Well, they've changed
Like,
the tune. Now
Xbox-
it's PlayStation needs Game Pass. Game Pass is coming to PlayStation. That's what fills me
Yeah,
in.
like
What a load of
Xbox has
crap.
no games, but they are asking for Bethesda to put their games on PlayStation and to put Game Pass on PlayStation. Like what?
It was Sony are buying Bethesda. It's that's amazing. To Xbox is buying Bethesda. They're not that good. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. They're still coming out.
Monopoly.
They're still coming out
That's
on
a monopoly.
game.
We can do that.
They're still multi-plat. To now, they're not going to be multi-plat, but PlayStation's getting Game Pass. It's just silly. It's just doesn't matter. Just play games.
I think it's. Go on,
This is such an interesting generation that the two main. I know Nintendo do what they want to do. They're outselling everyone. Nobody really considers them anymore. They're kind of their own thing. But you've got Sony and Microsoft, who are the two main console makers that look for power in these AAA games, and they're taking such a different approach. Whereas Sony is, we're keeping our exclusives, we're putting the price up to cover the cost of making them, and we're going to kick them to PC. Whereas Microsoft is, you don't have to buy them, just subscribe and we'll make as many games as you want, and we'll keep buying more stuff to give you more stuff for your monthly fee. It's like going from when people had, set-top boxes you plugged into your TV to Disney Plus and Netflix. Like, that's the direction Xbox is heading, whereas Sony seems more stuck in the path of, no, you need my set-top box. You can only have what I give you,
go ahead.
Go on, Card.
Okay. I think games that have multiplayer, they're going to put them everywhere. Or
if they decide to make a new MMO, right?
It's going to go everywhere.
For sure.
Because those games need a large fan base. I'm talking 10 million plus, probably, to really thrive.
Well,
imagine Fallout 76 2.
I mean, not necessarily though, because when you think about it, Xbox, has the PC as well ecosystem. So even if it was just Xbox and PC, not saying that it's not going to happen, but I'm saying I don't think they necessarily have to go to PlayStation, even those games, because the PC, MMOs are mostly played by PC players.
Yeah,
maybe now it's a little different, but most of the PC players are on MMOs.
But these companies, they want money, so
Oh no, of course, yeah.
That's ultimately what it comes down to, isn't it? They've got two different ways of trying to make money, and they're going to see which one works.
Yeah.
And as much as I praised Microsoft for being I think they're quite pro-consumer Game Pass, the way it works out, this monthly fee. If they'd have won the last generation, they wouldn't be trying to change things. They'd be doing what Sony's doing and trying to keep the status quo.
Probably. Yeah, for sure. And here's what I was going to talk about, because they did this roundtable that was a really awesome event, way better than the ones that we got last year for some reason, and I don't know why. But I just loved how good their synergy was, how is their friendship between Xbox and Bethesda, how they helped each other during the years. And I think that's just great, especially with how different the Microsoft that we have right now is from the Microsoft that we had in 2013, where they would just give pressure to the developers to release a game on the release date of the console. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm talking about Rise, Son of Rome, where they just, I don't care if you are not going to be able to make a more complex game, just release it and that's it. No, these guys are developing what you want, no matter what you want. Just, if you think it's good, we will approve it, and do it in the time that you think it's right for you. Because if we had Exactly, because if we had the same Microsoft that we had in 2013, we would never have games like Grounded, for example.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah.
That's my opinion, really. And I think one thing that we really need to thank, one person that we really need to thank, is not one person, it's a lot of persons about that. It's not just Phil Spencer, but as well Matt Booty. But we need to thank Satya Nadella and the Mojang studio, because for what Matt Booty said, it was after the Mojang deal where they acquired Minecraft that they decided to change their approach. And Satya Nadella said to Matt Booty one thing that made me realize that is, we have as much to learn from them as they have to learn from us. And man, that just shows me how different they are right now in comparison from what they were before. And the future is brighter than ever, in my opinion, especially with the way things are going and how they are dealing with not just their studios, but especially with their community and fans right now.
Oh yeah, for definite. It's definitely pointing in the right direction, and that I agree with you. That show that they just did was how they should do a lot more of their announcement shows, and just in general. I mean, I love Major Nelson and his white gloves, but that roundtable and the video packages and everything, it was just
Yeah.
perfect. Everything was, it flowed. Everyone had it didn't seem like it was forced. Like, when you watch the other Xbox
It was natural.
shows and they've
Exactly.
got that, I can never remember the guy's name in that, and they're always trying to act cool and hip, and it's like trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. It just doesn't work.
AC Bongos.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that guy and the other guy and the blonde woman, and they just don't. They're all nice and they're all good at what they do, but they just don't. They just seem to have been thrown together. It doesn't seem to work.
Well, they
Whereas-
hired a new guy, didn't they, who's now in charge of all of their marketing and messages that go out and videos and stuff.
Can't get worse.
He started a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? The new guy who's in charge of all their marketing.
Yeah.
Between I can't remember his name, but it was between them signing Bethesda and this show. Obviously, when Phil put his first statement out, I think he wasn't there. So if he was there, it may have been a bit more clear, because it seems by the time they put the second message out, they've nailed it.
Have you ever
With the
thought though
show.
they left it a bit vague in that message to make you watch the show, and then they can literally state there and then on camera, and then you can't take it out of context in
Yeah.
words. Maybe he was being coy, ready for the show. But it is a bit odd. Why did he even bother doing a press release when they could have just put that show up the day before? Because they clearly recorded that wasn't live. They clearly recorded that previously, because they were like, well, this is the first day, and when they showed it, it wasn't the first day. I don't think it was like the second or third. So it's
If that was their plan, it worked.
Yeah,
yeah. But,
yeah, the reception was amazing.
and it was nice. I liked how they were very clear. It was Xbox Bethesda. They didn't mention Microsoft. It wasn't like, even though it was their Microsoft bought, they're not an Xbox game studio in that sense. It was very clear. It was Xbox and Bethesda. Bethesda is Xbox. Xbox is Bethesda, and that connection. And I love the video packages. I actually was interested. I didn't even know about some of the companies, so it was really interesting to see who worked there and everything.
Yeah.
And then
man, when I saw Shinji Mikami talking, man.
Yes, the Resident Evil
Holy
creator is
shit.
Xbox. That's amazing.
Holy shit. How crazy is that? Like, I really want a new roundtable event where they bring all their studio heads to talk about the stuff and what they are developing, or any news or something like that. Like, I would love to see something like that. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and Microsoft, Xbox, they never do anything that they don't have a prior relationship with a developer. If you go back and look at the days of Undead Labs, the very first State of Decay, that was on Xbox Live Marketplace. It was the only place you could find it.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
going back to Bethesda, because I've seen a lot of people on social media saying that Microsoft's out here just sniping these developers and these publishers, and they don't realize that, you know, the very first game that Bethesda ever put on console was because of the hard drive that Microsoft put in the very first Xbox.
Yeah, they updated the Xbox so it would run, if I remember correctly, or something
And-
like that. With feedback.
Right. And when Bethesda was making Oblivion, they were actually in contact with Xbox. And as soon as they found out how much RAM the Xbox 360 was going to have in it, they were like, okay, we got this much video memory. We could do this with Oblivion now. They have such a storied history together. This was inevitable. It was going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, even with Fallout 76, as they talked about, like, they said that Xbox really helped them during the Fallout 76 release.
Yeah,
Of how to fix that shit.
yeah.
It was nice to see behind the curtain, for definite. And I honestly, if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you do watch it, because it's such a good show. It's well presented. It's well explained. There's stories that even some of the people sat there didn't even know about when they're talking about it. So it's very honest. It comes across like they are already a big family.
Real.
Yeah, real. That's it. Yeah, it feels like they've known each other for years, which they have, and it's just sort of slipping on a new shoe, isn't it? And they're just trying a different thing. So, and plus it ends on such a that video package at the end was awesome with the Bethesda games. and
Yeah.
that. I really enjoyed that.
Mixturing the universes.
Yeah.
One thing that I gotta say about the future is that of which new games are they going to bring to Xbox, is the first game that they are going to bring on Xbox is going to be Starfield. No, I don't think that is the case, because I think they should. Here's what I think they should do. I think they should release Starfield, Elder Scrolls, la-di-da, but I think they should do as with the other new studios, to start with small steps. What was the first game that Inxile Entertainment released as an Xbox Game Studios game? Wasteland 1 and the Bard's Tale Trilogy Remastered. And like those games were PC exclusives till that day, and I'm really excited to imagine that we could have the chance for Bethesda to somehow make a port and bring the first two Elder Scrolls games to Xbox. You know what I mean?
Well, they could just do it on PC Game Pass and just sort of like just make them work on modern consoles. For sure, there's such a backlog. I mean, what would everyone like to see then? If you all like to pick sort of like one ideal game you want to see from this merger, like what do you want to see from Bethesda Studios? If you could pick one game, either like a remake or a sequel or something, what is it you'd like to see?
I would say
Vegas too.
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
Which one? Sorry.
New Fallout New Vegas 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. There. That's it.
You know, and I don't know how the rumor got out there that there was a rumor that Bethesda wasn't too happy about what Obsidian did with Fallout New Vegas. That's not true. They were really excited about Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, they better be excited right now because they are families.
I would like to see them either port the older Elder Scrolls games, like we've just said, like a collection of like the old DOS games, or I'd like to see a new Quake, but like just a multiplayer only Quake, not an arena, like a proper Quake arena game. There's currently one on PC that came out a couple of years ago that like just update that and like give it more content and then slap it on Xbox as well. I just
like imagine bringing Fallout 1 and 2 to Xbox, man. The
Yeah,
original,
exactly.
but just get a port for that would be amazing. Holy shit.
Honestly, I would also love to see Morrowind 3 being remastered. That'd be great. Morrowind.
Remake, make like Morrowind remake with really
with all the
next-gen
DLCs.
graphics.
Yeah, like Skyrim or like the new Elder Scrolls, but just like to just have Morrowind and then also Oblivion. That'd be great because both those games.
Yeah.
they made a lot of changes. Like Skyrim is such a different game from both of those games.
What about you,
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
Alucard?
the modding community for Skyrim and Fallout 4 is amazing.
It's
Oh, yeah.
actually.
Can you imagine if we start getting more mods? I think that's something. More modding will come to
I
Xbox.
heard about that. It was a rumor that they're going to have like more mods available for games, but who knows?
Also, doesn't Bethesda have a pretty decent VR tech as well that no one's talking about?
Yes, they
And they
do.
have stream tech as well. don't they?
Yeah,
Similar to
good
xCloud.
streaming tech that can get incorporated into xCloud, and they already have like a working VR tech, which you never know if VR becomes popular enough to Microsoft to invest. It's there waiting, isn't it?
You know,
I'd like
and
VR.
yeah.
But it's just not mainstream
So,
enough
you
for
know,
Xbox to do.
the new series consoles, they don't use Bluetooth. Microsoft is building on the direct Wi-Fi tech.
Yep.
So that is fast enough that if there's a VR headset, it could possibly be wireless.
Yep.
But they still haven't got all the bugs worked out of the direct Wi-Fi. That's why if you don't shut your controller down before you swap batteries, you have trouble reconnecting.
Yep. It's getting there though. It's getting there. But to be fair, I don't see VR coming anytime soon. To be fair, so not on Xbox anyway. And I mean, PlayStation 5 have announced theirs, but they literally just sort of went, "Oh, it's coming. We promise. There's nothing to show, but it's coming." So I don't see VR being a big focus of this gen, not for a year or two at least.
Yep.
They announced this the same day they announced they were putting games on PC. So
Yeah,
they
it
put
was
that out there to kind of positive
Buffer
spin.
it, yeah, to like just cover that up.
Yeah.
Look over there, monkey, look! Quick.
One thing I really like about these Xbox events, and they need to keep doing in future, is wheeling out Sarah Bond. I know Ruby Mill in the chat is a huge fan of hers. If we can get some more of her on those events, I'd be very
Yes.
happy.
Is that the woman that was sitting at the round table?
Yeah, she was there. Was she on the video link? I know on the last one she was video link.
Let's have a look.
So you can Google her. Very attractive one. Very
Yeah,
easy.
I couldn't tell if she was sitting there or whether or not
No,
she was
the one. I
on
think she was the one that was on the video package. I
Okay.
believe she may have been there. I'm not 100% sure. So
She's always like very enthusiastic about what
yeah,
she
no,
speaks about.
she was the one that wasn't there. She was the video one. The woman that was there was the Bethesda. She worked for Bethesda, I believe. She was the Bethesda side.
Okay.
But not just, but moving forward to the next topic of our podcast, we not only had this great event, this great round table, but we had some news during that, not just showing brand new games for the Game Pass ecosystem. Some of those Bethesda games some 20 games, Bethesda games, were released to Game Pass today. Actually, was for me was yesterday during night, but for other people was today. And man, some of those games were already on the library, but not every single one of them was in every platform. So the platforms that we have for Game Pass are xCloud, PC, and console. Some of them were just in one, others were in two, and then they decided to update and add way more games. And as well, we had an addition of some games receiving a FPS boost. So for you guys that already have a next-gen console, are you excited?
Of course. Very excited.
Yeah.
60 frames over 30 frames any day.
Yep, exactly.
But,
Resolution
did they give you
upscales, everything going forward. I am happy to whatever they give us, and however they improve any game is a bonus. I'm not one of those people that is I only want to play it how it was made and it originally released. No, I want to play it the best. I want it to look the shiniest. I want it to look the smoothest. I want it to play the best. I want it to be the fastest.
Did they give us any details about it? about if it's going to be 60 FPS or 120 FPS.
60, I think they've said.
Imagine if they release a FPS boost for Doom and it is 120 FPS.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Like, I've not played Prey yet. I played the original Prey and I really enjoyed it. The one with Tommy
the
where he gets
original
abducted in the
Prey.
bar. Yeah,
Nice. Ash just had a.
I love that game. I like when you got shrunk and you're on like a little rock or something in like a glass cabinet
Yeah.
or something. It was ace, and then they shat on it and brought out a sequel that is supposed to be good, but isn't anything to do with the original.
This is why I've never played it, because I saw the aesthetic and I heard it was just like a new game with the same name. But now I'm hearing online how good it is, and if it's getting an FPS boost, I'm going to hold out, wait till it gets a 60 FPS update, and then I'm going to actually give it a try. But man, the first one was so good.
The first one wasn't made by Bethesda, though, was it? It was made by 2K.
Yeah, it was a different studio, different publisher too, I think.
Yeah, I'm sad we never got the Prey, the sequel they actually showed off. You know, when they showed that looked amazing.
That one looked awesome.
Bounty Hunter in Space, was that the one they showed off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that. It looked really cool.
The thing is, like, you can't. It's hard to market higher frame rates. You know, it's easy to say 4K resolution, or, you know, saying like a lot of people be like 60 frames. They don't even know what that means. But I want it too. Like, I want 60, 120, 240. You know, I don't care about 4K. But 4K is like the hot word that sells, you know.
No, having a picture up res from 1080p to 4K, it's just like heaven. I'm a snob now. I can't watch like standard definition. I watched 4K nature documentaries on Netflix when I first got my 4K telly, and then I watched normal definition, and I'm just like, my eyes, it burns. And I'm just like spitting at it, and I'm like, no, 4K. I want to see every hair on that monkey's arse. I don't care about who else. I just need to see every detail.
I mean, we want it all, of course, but some of these, the casual market is 4K is the hot word. It's easy to sell that, but it's hard to sell higher frame rates. Like, how do you market that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, doesn't the PS5 say 8K on the box? I don't know what where it's getting 8K from. What's 8K? Is it really 8K? Because
no, it's not.
Apparently, the Series X supports 8K.
That just means that the encoder is capable of transverting 8K sources through apps.
Right.
Is what it is.
So it's bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
You can get an app and watch.
That sums everything up.
That's the short answer, yeah.
It's technically true, but you're not going to get 4K gaming. Not right now.
I don't get why they've put in. Speaking of the first-person FPS boost, why they gave people the option to switch it off? Who cares? Just give us the best.
I know.
Some people like cinematic experience.
I like the fact that they've given us the option, and it's nice to have options and stuff. And I get it for those purists, because I've played have you ever tried plugging like a SNES or a Mega Drive into a modern telly? Oh my god, it's like looking at someone spread butter on your screen. It's terrible. So, but people seem to like that, and I like people that put scanlines back in retro games. Like they bring a new like a remaster out, and then they put scanlines back on them. Why? I mean, some people like that. It's authentic, but for me, I would much rather it just be super crisp and look beaut and run beaut. But I'm just greedy, and that's how I want. I just want to be spoiled, like a gaming prince. That's all I want.
I do agree with the auto HDR being
that's awesome, yeah.
being toggleable, because that some old games under auto HDR look really washed out.
That I understand, but like a first-person boost, like the frames per second boost, not first-person, but FPS boost. Why would you? Why would you want to play on a crapper version?
I honestly don't
know.
I played Valhalla. Playing Valhalla when they finally sorted the frame rate out, it was like I'd had cataracts and it had opened, and my eyes had been lasered, and it was suddenly actually not rubbish, and it was playable at 60. It was fantastic. Why you'd want to go back to that, I have no idea.
I think there's actually one of the reasons is probably because the technical constraints of the game, because and how the games were made. Because I do remember reading an article somewhere that Grand Theft Auto 4, if you play it on a Series X, it automatically boosts it to 60. You actually can't finish the game anymore because there's a sequence where you have to button mash.
And it's too quick. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. In those aspects, I totally understand it. But just for a person playing the game to want to play an inferior version, to each their own. If that's what you want to do, cool. More power to you. I will never understand it. For me, when I pull it, I've got like an original Xbox One, not Xbox One, like an original Xbox OG. I've spent time and effort and money to make it play nicely and up-resed on HDMI instead of it out on AVI. Do you know what I mean? I can't go back. I mean, I remember playing 360 when it came out, and it didn't have a HDMI port. And when I finally got the HDMI version, I've never looked back. It was just like a totally different. It just blows my mind, and I just don't get why you'd want to go back.
No.
Some people really, like they really love nostalgia.
I understand in that aspect, but for me, I like nostalgia, but I like to see nostalgia with modern technology, the improvements and benefits of it. That's all I want.
Yeah. We're all getting older. We need it to look better. We don't need to strain.
Yeah. I wear glasses all the time now. It needs to be crisp, or I'll never see it.
The lesson of the day is use Botox. That's it. And with that, we are going to wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. All the people that are watching on the stream live. If you're not listening to this live and you want to watch it later, it'll be up on YouTube. And in the next day or two, I'll get it stuck up on the streaming providers, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all those sort of places. And thank you to all our guests. It's been absolutely fantastic to have you all on.
Thank you so much, guys. We hope to record with you more often as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Remember, like, subscribe, and obey.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and obey.
For each of our guests, TheGinna, where can people find you?
So I'm on Facebook Gaming, fb.gg/TheGinna. I'm on YouTube under TheGinna. You can find me on Twitter and at Ginna there, because I really don't get how I set up Twitter. I got my name the wrong way around.
I noticed that when I tried tagging you.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I don't get how it's done it, but I'll live with it.
You know, you can change it. You know, you can go in and change your Twitter tag.
Twitter's a mistress I don't understand.
Let him be the way he likes. God damn it, Mr. Slayer. Where can people find you?
So yeah, I'm on Twitch, SlayerXclusive. Same thing on YouTube. YouTube is actually SlayerXclusive Gaming, and I'm also on Xbox as SlayerXclusive. So you can find me on there. Add me on there if you want. That's my gamer tag. And and on Twitter as well as SlayerXclusive. So
nice, Mr. KY Bob. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Xbox, KY Bob, PlayStation, KY Bob. Twitter, KY Bob. On YouTube, I have no content yet, but
it's not KY Bob.
You gotta get that placeholder, man.
Twitch, where I have no content, KY Bob.
Who would have guessed?
And some of the different platforms, because of alphanumeric restrictions, there may be a space between the K or the Y, or between the Y and the B. Hard to keep up with where spaces are and where they're not.
The most important is that it is going to be always KY Bob. That's
right. KY Bob.
Mr. Alucard, where can people find you?
I'm on Xbox Live at FalseAlucard. I changed it to, it was FalseAlucard 32, but now I changed it to, let me see what it's called now.
What do you mean? Let me see what it's called.
But yeah, I mean, I'm on there a lot. I'm not on YouTube or anything like that. I was on Twitter, but I don't go on there anymore because it just seems like a cesspool. So
It's because we're on it.
My gamer tag is FalseAlucard 628. That's what it is now.
Nice. So thank you very much for everyone here who has watched us and listened to us, as well as thank you so much for you guys to accepting the invites to be our guests. Thank you so much. You can always know where to find me and Ash is showing on the screen, I think, right?
Yeah, it's still at the moment. It's still shown on the screen. Mine is at Z23Ash on Twitter, and Fabio's is at FBIOAMORIM97. So it's Fabio Amorim, but missing a letter. Is that correct?
Exactly.
And you can find the podcast
simple as
on
that.
everything. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all under XBL Party Podcast. It's on the screen if you're watching it live. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone who's following.
Later.
Please give us a follow on Twitch if you're not doing so already. I think we're about 8 people away from hitting the amount needed to hit affiliate. And thank you for everyone who watches live because it's been fantastic. All the commenters, all the banter, all the comments we've had over the last few weeks. It's been absolutely fantastic. And honestly, we'd love to know what you want to see on the chat, who you want to see on.
Exactly.
We'll talk
As a
about anything.
guest.
We can talk for hours, as you can tell. So, thank you for
Can
watching,
lose
and
track of everything.
we'll be back next Saturday, all being well, 8 p.m. British GMT time, and we will see you then.
Keep gaming, keep being awesome. Bye bye, guys. Thanks so much.
Hell yeah.
Live and let live, gamers. We're all in this together.
Damn right we are.